G-Money!
Yo.
Why are we here?
Early.
10 in the morning.
We got a special guest, man.
I've been here since last night.
I don't know what you was doing here since last night.
I was trying to block the windows. They've been complaining about noises, man. I've been trying to figure out. I put in a fake window plug. I did all this nonsense, man. You got to see it. I'm tired. Figure it out. Our guest is atrocious. He gave us a time and he came 2 hours early. I think it's disrespectful, actually.
Disrespectful?
Yeah, I don't like
being early.
Extra early is rude. It's like being late because it's inconvenient. No, it's inconvenience.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this now. You know the box is right here, ready to go.
Oh, G-Champ.
Already off the rip.
You can't give it to. I know you like it.
It's already ready to go.
That's biased.
I'm gonna wait a second though, because
let me close the box and put it.
There, but it's there. Just know it's ready.
How you doing, man? It's good to be back, man. Our second episode back in a new spot.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work and stuff like that. But
Definitely.
you know, as a team, we stick together.
Shout out to the whole team. Tati, what up? Bassy in the building.
Wasn't it Tati Mondays, right?
Tati Monday.
I call it Tati Tuesdays.
You gotta always switch up something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to boy Mr. Smooth too. His birthday just passed.
Yeah, Mr. Smooth. Rest in peace, his father. His father passed away.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
OG Selly passed away. Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Wow.
One of our episodes that he was on one of our episodes. Yeah.
Oh wow.
His father passed away, but happy belated birthday to Smooth. My birthday.
Shout out to all our Leos. Yeah. So by the time the episode come out, it'll be our birthdays. Both of our. You know
your birthday coming up too.
Yeah. It's 7:30. We outside, man.
So our birthday are a day apart, and people are confused why we're not alike. Night and day.
Facts.
Not by and not. I can't say that word, but we are here.
Yeah.
And even though he didn't have us waiting, I want him to wait.
So just a little bit.
Yeah.
Nah, we can't do that to my man, bro.
And we fixed the sound in here. That's what I was up in here doing. There's no echoes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You don't be biased. Oh, they got the book on here. Come on, man. Not yet. They gonna see who it is, G.
I got something for him right here too. I ain't showing him.
That's fine.
I didn't show him this yet.
You know
what I'm saying? Back in the days, I was outside. You know what I'm saying? You want to show him later on? I'll make him wait for that one.
G Money.
Yo.
Episode 2. Oh, hold on. Let him wait a little bit. He came too early.
Too early?
He came too early. And you know what's so crazy, too, about it?
He's professional, man.
Gee, it's still the same thing. It's still an inconvenience. It's still. And my thing is that he texts me, are we still good, while already outside. He didn't text me in the morning, like, yo, good morning, are we still good?
Right.
Yeah, we good. I'm outside. Huh?
He's ready, man.
I slept over because I put work in. Yeah, I put work in.
205. He was looking. That's it.
I know that. I know that episode. I just want to wait.
All right, man.
G Money.
Yo.
Episode 205.
Nigga, we made it.
We got a special guest.
Oh man.
I've been pranking this man.
You been wilding
for the last 2 years.
Been wilding on him.
He looked out for you on the radio station one time.
Oh yeah, we gotta,
Okay, I'll let you tell your story.
Yeah.
Because that's something that stuck with you. You appreciated that.
I will forever be appreciative.
Yeah.
100%. You wanna bring him in now?
Legend. Do we call him a legend? Queens.
Big Queens.
Entrepreneur.
Author.
What do we call him? Is he technically a realtor? Is he a realtor? Let me just say this. People that go and find fields and try to take, what about the people that's out there walking barefoot in the morning to sell a house? Who he think he is? One of the top hosts on one of the top stations, the number one station in the world. Round of applause for my man, DJ Envy.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
He wants some headphones. You guys got headphones? No. Do you wear headphones at 105?
I do.
Yeah, you look foolish. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you, man.
I feel like you came a little too early. Pause. I'm pretty sure prematurely has caused trouble in your life back in the days before you was married. What? No, because you was Miss Gia since 15.
That's right.
So just be careful. We don't want you to get in trouble. Stop trying to arrive early. Just let that sit in your mind.
What are you talking about?
Just let
man?
that sit in your mind.
What's
You'll
wrong
get it
with
because it's pause. I don't want to say, and I respect Ms. Gee. That's my she don't play. She kicked me out the crib. She got my utmost respect. I won't even play, but
I like to be on time and be early to make sure I can find parking. Some lots don't take the cars that I drive, so I got to make sure I'm on time. I got to find parking. I never like to be late. So I was actually just chilling in the car waiting.
That was a conflict though. Some lots don't take the car that he's driving.
You believe this?
Yeah.
You believe this?
He's a car guy.
What do you mean? That doesn't make sense. All lots take cars, any car.
It's not true. Some lots don't take exotic cars. Like some lots will not take Ferraris, Lambos.
Oh, for real?
Rolls Royce, especially in the city because it's too much of an insurance thing. So they won't take those type of vehicles. So you have to find a lot that can actually take those cars.
That means if something happened to your car, they are liable.
Correct.
How long? Because you sued a couple people before. How long does it take for you to get your money from a car damage like that? What would you do? You put it into the insurance, or how does that work?
Well, if you have an exotic car, you usually don't go through insurance for anything small. And the reason being is, let's say you own a $500,000 car, let's just say. And let's say somebody hits you and there's $30,000 worth of damage. It might not make sense to go through insurance. And the reason being is, once it pops up on your Carfax, meaning it shows that there's an accident, the value of your car shoots down like 30%. So now that the car that you paid $500,000 is now worth $380,000. So now it makes sense to just pay that $30,000. You get it back on the long run.
So how do you get it from the people?
You got to make a deal. I mean, the most lots will pay it because they'll pay the money. So if it's $30,000, it's just give me 10, and you got to cover the rest of it, depending on what it is.
That's what they do. They give you 10,000.
If it's a lease, then it doesn't matter because you give the car back. But if you buy it, you own it, it does matter.
Got it. Welcome to the show. Can you turn my mic down a little bit, please? Because I'm about to go in. It's the first mic. Pause. Yeah. How do you feel today?
I'm great. I am great. Had a great weekend. Was in the pool all weekend. I had a great weekend. What, you want me to lie? You want me to lie?
I felt you was.
I was outside in the fire hydrant. What do you want me to lie? I'm telling you my truth. I was in the pool chilling.
I felt you was showing off. I saw it. I come on, like, chill. I not been in your new crib. Like, you come on, you a show off, man.
You've been in the pool, yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
G, I'm gonna let you. I go all day. G, I'm gonna not let. G, can you please?
Right.
Can you please take over this?
Well, first off, I haven't seen Envy in a while, so good to see you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back to the welcome to the show. And last time I saw you, I think we were playing the club together in the city a while ago. I think when I saw him, I had to thank him, like I always thank him when I see him, because the whole radio situation that happened. I'm not sure if you recall.
I remember.
You remember? This 2013 situation happened on the Breakfast Club. Somebody called up and tried to accuse me of messing with the young lady. You know what I'm saying? And Envy, being the stand-up guy that he is, he banged it on him on live on the air. You know what I'm saying? He tried to
try to assassinate your character, and I said, I know G Money. Well, see, this is the thing about DJs, right? So everybody looks out for each other, right?
Right.
Like if you look at attorneys all look out for each other, right? Rappers, they all look out for each other. Shit, bartenders, they all look out for each other. DJs, we the only ones that we all try to do it on our own. But we all come from the same struggle, same grind, same everything. So I feel like if there's a DJ trying to do something, trying to accomplish something, I'm a look out for the DJ. During the pandemic, I did the DJ fund where we raised a couple $100,000.
To see that, yeah.
Right? And I gave every DJ, if I know or didn't know, if they emailed me or if they had a man that hit me, I gave them some money. And that's because we gotta look out for our own. A lot of times we don't. So when I see DJs doing something that's different outside the box, whether it's a car show like DJ Magic or Camilo's Restaurant or Self's Block Party or something Greg Street is doing or any DJ around the world, I want to support because we don't support each other enough. So I really look like if a DJ's doing something like you with the podcast, you know what I mean? I didn't come on the strength of Queen's Flip. I came on the strength of you because you a DJ. And I'm like, whatever you doing, I need to be supportive if I can. And that's how I think we should all look at DJs. Any DJ out there listening, we should always support each other, pull each other up.
That's real. I mean, you didn't, like that's just. You could have definitely took the opportunity that day on the radio and been like, oh yeah, what's up? What happened? You know what I'm saying? And got more inquisitive about it, but you shut it down. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I just want to publicly, thank you and be appreciative of that. You know what I'm saying? That was a tough time. I was in the crib about to shit on myself. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So
No,
that saved everything. So
Well, next time you learn
what?
leave niggas, girls alone.
That was alleged.
No, that was a fact. I got the receipts. Let me pull it up.
Do you?
Nah, I ain't doing it. Hey, G, my fault, man.
Nah, so let's go back now a little bit, like we always do in the show. Let's take them back. You know what I'm saying? I know we heard the story, before online, but let's go back to before DJ Envy and before Breakfast Club, before everything. Take us back. Obviously you from Queens, born and raised. What part of Queens you from?
I'm from Queens Village. That's Murdoch and Springfield. Same block as DJ Clue. We were neighbors. He lived actually across the street from me. And I didn't know Clue was Clue. He hates when I tell his story. I didn't know him as that. I knew him as Ernesto. Ernesto was the kid that was a couple of years older than me. I used to shoot ball with him at the park. He always used to wheelie up and down the block. Like, that was Ernesto.
Right.
And I was just a kid from Queens, you know what I mean? Andrew Jackson was my zone school. If you don't know what Andrew Jackson is, that was probably the worst school in America at the time, the first school with metal detectors. And my parents was like, you're not going there. My pops is a retired police officer. My mom works for Guardian Life Insurance. She was like, yo, we gonna put you in Catholic school. So she put me in St. Joachim and Ann, and I used to take the bus where Catholic school closed every day. And me waiting for the bus, I seen Ernesto drive, and I don't remember if it was a 3 Series or a Honda, but whatever it was, a Honda and a 3 Series back then was like Rolls Royces as a kid. They were Bentleys. So I seen him, I'm like, yo, what are you doing to make money? Because at the time, I didn't have that much money. I didn't have nothing. He was like, yo, come to my mom's crib after school and I'll show you. So I'll be honest, I thought he was selling drugs. And I'm like, whatever, I need some bread. Like at the time, you want to sneakers.
This is in high school time.
This was in high school. And after high school, I remember, going to his crib. His mom was like, Ernesto's downstairs. I go downstairs. I walk downstairs and I just see records and turntables and all types. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm a DJ. I was like, all right, what's your DJ name? He was like, I'm DJ Clue. Now, at the time, nobody knew what Clue looked like because Clue only had the question mark on his tape.
Right.
And I used to bootleg Clue tapes at school. Like, I went to an all-white school, so they didn't know who it was, so I used to bootleg his tapes. And I'm sitting there like, damn. And he was like, yo, I'm a DJ. And I was like, so you get paid to do this? He was like, yeah. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I started from there. And then,
wait, so you bootleg his tape before you knew who he was?
Yeah, I didn't know who he was, so I was bootlegging his tape in my high school.
Wow.
And then from there, I wanted to DJ. So Clue kind of became my off and on mentor. Like, yo, what should I buy? And he'd tell me the turntables I buy. What should I get? And that was the start. At the same time, I went to school with this kid named Mono. Mono's Haitian. He's from Queens. And his pop was a musician. So he had turntables. So he was like very musically inclined. He plays the trumpet. He plays mad different instruments. And he was like, yo, let's DJ together. So we started DJing together. He was more the DJ and I was more of the MC. And we were DJing for like a whole summer. Made no money. Like nothing. And he was like, yo, fuck this. I'm gonna fuck with girls, man. Like, you on your own. So I just took all the equipment and just started DJing in the basement. At the time, he was DJ Mono. I was DJ Shrimp. My name was DJ Shrimp because I was only 5'2". I was short. I was scrawny. And we used to, together, we were Envy Productions. And we was called Envy Productions because we used to say all the white kids in the school envied us because it was like very few black kids in the school. So on the stamp on the tape, if you remember the stamp on the tape of the CD, it just said Envy. So when I used to go to the bootleggers, they'd be like, you got the new Envy, you got the new Envy. So when I started handing out, they'd be like, oh, Envy's here. And they just started calling me Envy, not knowing that it was both of us together as Envy Productions. So the name just stuck and it just went on from there. And I just took the name Envy.
Real quick, because because you're in you do interviews and you know what you're doing. You tried to rush our interview, but we're gonna have to slow you down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm here all day. I ain't got nothing to do, so
we know that. Talk about your parents. I see that you highlight them a lot. Wonderful people. What was it like living? Because they seem extremely close. And what was it? Tell us about growing up with your parents.
My parents raised me in a household that was fair and firm, as my dad would say, right? Together, they were together. They're still together. My pop's about to turn 80. My mom's 77. But we lived in a household where it was their way or the highway. Meaning my dad is a police officer at the time. He wasn't retired. So he's in the streets. So he sees what's happening. And during that time, crack was big. Like, you walk out the house and you see the little crack files all over the floor. And my dad, he was an undercover on the train that used to stand on the train and catch people robbing people on the train. He used to carry the little gun in his glove. So he used to see everything all day long. See cops getting shot, people getting murdered. So he wanted me to stay in the house. He was like, if I keep him in the crib, I know he ain't gonna be outside. So for them, when I started DJing, it was everything, because it was like, oh, he's practicing in the basement. We know where he's at. Yeah, the music is loud, but I'd rather take this music loud than lose my son to the streets. So he was very like, I tell everybody all the time, he was a tough asshole. Like it wasn't, some of them families be like, well, if y'all want to go out, and their parents might be like, no. And then you could say, well, why can't I go out? That wasn't in there. Dad, can I go out? No. It was no, don't ask me nothing. Get the fuck out my face. That was my dad. My mom was more of a teacher. She wanted me to learn. She wanted me to read. She made sure she checked my homework every day. There was no fast food. They cooked for me every night. Like, it was a family. That's how my family was. I wanted to get out early. As soon as I got my first check, I got out the crib. And the reason I wanted to is because I didn't get to experience the world. Because when I'm home, it's like, when I used to come in the crib, my dad was like, yo, when you come in this house, you make a lot of noise. Because I don't want to shoot you. Because if I feel like you sneaking in the crib, I'm going to shoot you. Like, that's how my household was. But remember, I lived in Queens. So you had to make sure that this, that, and the other. But my dad was also the one that if I had a problem, he was right there with me. If I had my first fight ever was with Troy. You know who Troy is?
No. Which Troy that passed away?
Smack DVD. Troy was my first fight.
Wait, hold on.
Punched me dead in my face. First fight was Troy.
You lying.
Swear to God.
You had a fight with Smack?
Smack, me and Smack.
Tell me how you and Smack had a fight. You had no fight with Smack.
Me and Smack went to the same elementary school.
Stop
St.
playing
Joseph
my man Smack name, man. Stop playing about
And I don't remember what it was. And, we got into an incident the day before. So I told my dad, I was like, yo, I'm going to fight Troy. He was like, all right, I'll be there. And my dad watched from the side and was like, you going to have to fight him. I ain't going to let nobody jump you, but you going to have to fight him. And me and Smack fought.
Wow.
Who won?
Smack. Smack.
That's real.
It wasn't a long fight. It was kids, but one, two piece me. I tried to swing at him back, and everybody grabbed his butt. Yeah, he won. That's Smack. Yeah, he tell you.
Did you guys ever talk about this as adults?
All the time, man. We laugh about it all the time. All the time.
And what school was this again? I had to do my
St.
research.
Joseph in Queens. I think Slow Bucks might have went there. Like it's Queens, and that school was all Haitian. So it was like we didn't have a basketball team, we had a soccer team. Like it was like we was in the middle of the hood.
So, but this is like what they call Shadyville, right? Queens
Shadyville,
Village?
yep. Mm-hmm. Queens Village, Shadyville.
Shadyville, okay. And then, but did you ever? I saw you like your family still in Shadyville? No,
my family's still in Queens.
In Queens, got it.
And my dad won't leave. And I tell you, and I'll tell you the reason why. Like I don't have nothing to hide. My dad, like I said, is a police officer, so he likes to know his area. But not only that, since he's a cop, if he moves out of the county that he lives, they actually tax his pension. So if he stays in New York and Queens, they won't tax his pension. So I've been trying to get him to come to Jersey for the longest. He won't leave.
He won't leave at all.
Will not leave.
All that money you got.
Will not leave. And when he comes to my house in Jersey, he closes all the blinds like he thinks the bears are checking him out while he's walking around. He's just one of them. He's just one of them niggas. He's from Brooklyn. He's comfortable in his environment, and he will not.
When you were younger and you were sheltered, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that make you feel? Like, and when you get older, while growing up, you try to get away from that. Mm-hmm. But in retrospect, looking back at it, you appreciate it more.
Absolutely.
But you're not like that with your children.
Somewhat. And the reason I say is my children live a different life. Meaning, well, my parents sheltered from me. We didn't have a lot of money. My kids have the option of having money. So it's like, for instance, if my kids want to go out, I know where they're going because I'm paying for it. Like my son went to Rolling Loud this weekend. He went with his 3 boys, but my son wasn't like me. I was a scrawny little kid. My son is a football player that's diesel. You're not going to toss him around. He can hold his own. I also can afford for him to stay in a nice hotel. I can afford for him to stay out in a nice flight and get a car service for him and do that. I didn't have none of those options. So I would have had to take the bus or take a train somewhere. I would have been staying at a hotel that was probably one of the worst hotels. He didn't have those options. So I treat my kids differently. Same thing with my daughter. When my daughter goes out, if it's somewhere where I don't feel comfortable, I could put somebody on her. Meaning a security guard or just one of the homies. I didn't have I didn't have that option as a kid.
You talking about Madison?
Madison, yeah.
Yeah. How was it like? Because I know that but I don't know if it's public yet. But I don't know if should I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I know Madison. You last time I was with you was telling me that Madison now lives alone.
Yeah. How
was that like?
That was difficult. I mean, she goes to college in the city. She goes to NYU, and she wanted to get her own apartment. And my whole fear with New York is, like I told her, and she understand that, so we good. But like when I went to school, I went to Hampton University. When I stayed by myself, it was with a bunch of college students. So you lived off campus, but all the college students lived off campus. NYU is different. Where she stays and when she goes out, it's not NYU students. You going out with New York, which is hustlers, which is niggas, which is scammers, which is murderers, which is gangsters. It's all of that. And for a kid that came out of Jersey and she knows because I take her with me wherever I go. Look at the back door. You see that right there? That don't look right. Watch your drink if you're drinking. Like, I teach you that. But, it's still, it makes her nervous. She's doing fine, though. But, again, I'm able to afford a nice building with a doorman, where you got to put your key card in to get up the elevator. Where, like, I'm able to afford that for her. So, for me, it's a lot more comfortable.
How did Ms. Gia feel about her leaving? Like, who was more...
Me. Like, people know, like, Madison's my, like... I know people say, yo, your kid shouldn't be your best friend, but she's my ace. Like, that's my best friend. Like, if I'm going to look for a car, Maddie, what you doing? I'm picking you up in 3 minutes. Come on. Oh, yo, Maddie, I need you to fly here to do this. Like, she is that type. Like, hands down. So, for me, it was tougher. Even now, she got a boyfriend, and it's tough on me.
Oh.
Because I'm no longer number one in Daddy's life.
Who we got to check? What's his name?
Now, he a good kid, though. He a good kid, though.
You don't hype up.
Now, he a good kid. He's been around me a couple of times.
Where?
Everywhere. He's been to both car shows. He's worked both car shows.
What does he do?
He go to NYU. Smart kid. He interns at
Black?
Black. JP Morgan. But it's funny. He looks like one of my family members. So
hold on, chill out with that.
I'm gonna tell you, when we go to car show, everybody be like, "Oh shoot, you got Madison and Logan working." He be like, "I'm not Logan," but he kind of look like a taller Logan. He play ball. He diesel. He good. I like him. I really like that kid. I respect that kid. Yeah,
and he respects Maddie.
Absolutely. Yes, he does.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. But he also knows,
Does he really know? Because when people watch you, I don't think they know what comes behind.
Yeah, no, he knows, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I do my car shows, everybody comes to the car shows. So my niggas come to the car show because they want to make sure I'm good when I'm out and about. So he had to talk to them the whole time. And they not like, I'm more politically correct. They not politically correct. Yo, what's your intention, my nigga? Like, that's how they are. Like, if I catch you do it, like, but he was good. He handled it great, and I really like the kid.
Shout out to him. Okay,
yeah, I like him.
Good. Okay, as long as you say so.
Yeah, I like him.
Yo, so growing up in Queens again, right? Go back a little bit. You said your parents was pretty strict on you. You had a firm household.
Absolutely.
So you still could have chose another route, though. A lot of people growing up in Queens, especially during that time, like you said, you wanted to get some more money. How did you, outside of your parents being on you, like, how did you avoid the streets and, you know what I'm saying, like going out the
and I tell everybody all the time, people say, yo, why do you do the things that you do? Is because a lot of times the only influence we have is bad, right? And coming up from Queens, the biggest influences we had was drug dealers, right? We went to Jamaica Avenue to buy sneakers, or we went out. Who had the girls? Who had the bottles? Who had the cars? It was the drug dealers. So that was my influence early on, or the basketball players, right? Mark Jackson or Anthony Mason, we would see Rod Strickland, Stephon Marbury, right? But if you can't ball, what do you think your next way is? Is that rapping at the time? Nobody really respected the rappers as much as the drug dealers and the basketball players. So a lot of times that's where we go. And I pray to God every day and thank God every day that if Clue didn't say, yo, I sell drugs, I might have been saying, you know what, I'm going to sell drugs with Clue. But since he did DJ and that influenced me, that's why I show so much when it comes to DJing. That's why I show these kids, yo, you could DJ and be successful. You could DJ and buy a crib and buy a car and buy your jewelry and take trips and buy what you want just by being a successful DJ. That's why I show all that. I never sold drugs. I never had to do any of that. Not. I know a lot of my peoples have, but I didn't. And the good thing about that is I don't have to look around my back when I'm doing anything. Yeah, you got to look up for stick-up kids regardless, but I never had to do anybody dirty, sold somebody dirt or, took somebody's money. I never had to do that. So when I walk around the city, I can walk around the city with my kids in my hand. I can walk around the city and not feel like I got to be careful. And that's the best feeling in the world.
Who else at the time was but besides Clue in Queens, like who else did you see DJing at that time that you were kind of inspired by or?
Yeah, Clue was the main, but then it was the whole Queens. It was Grandmaster Vic. It was Buddha Barber. It was DJ Boogie Black. It was trying to think some of the Queens, and then it was just all the Queens dudes that came up with me, whether it was Jay Delarello, Finesse, or Who Kid, or Dirty Harry. Of course, shout out to Big Splash. Like all those people were around me that kind of grew up with me, but it's just the experience. You go into the park and see somebody playing music, but DJ Scratch too. But what did it for me was seeing them successful and being able to take care of their household, and that's what Clue did for me. Like I seen Clue go from a Nissan Sentra to a Honda Accord to a 3 Series to an Expedition to a Ferrari to buying a crib in Jersey. So those were my, like, think about it. I bought my first crib at 22. My first crib I bought at 22. But that's from seeing Clue buy his first crib at 22. So he was my inspiration at the time. Like, damn, if he can do it and he's from my same block, I could do it. Right. And sometimes these kids don't see that. They see the same kid on the same corner for 10 years and they think that's cool. But nah, that's not. And that's what I try to show these kids.
When did you meet your wife?
I met her in high school. So
what school? Hold on, what school?
I'm gonna tell you, St. Francis Prep on Horace Harding.
I forgot you went to Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. So she
went to Holy Cross.
She's from Brooklyn actually, and she moved from Brooklyn to Queens and got transferred into my school. So when she transferred, she was the new fly girl. And you know, for most people don't know that I was kind of like a turtle in school. Like I never really with chicks because I was scrawny. I was 5'2", glasses, braces. I wasn't with chicks. So when she came into school, she was bad. So I didn't know what to say. I would try to give her my number. She would curve me. Try to give her my number. She would curve me. And I remember I used to stalk her. So she used to run track.
Wait, hold on. Be careful. Wait. You married?
I'm married, man. I'm married.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Been with her 27 years. What you talking about?
I'm just saying. You got me nervous, man. You talking about stalking?
Fuck all those people, man. I'm really being honest. I was stalking.
So you was a typical nerd from you.
I was a nerd from when it came to relationships. So I would stand outside her track practice, and I would watch her. After we played ball, I would watch her, and I kicked it to her. And for me, it was like my wife at that time had double D's as a 15-year-old, so I would stand out there and just watch her track all day. And she curved me like 3-4 times, and then one time she was like, "You're fine, come on, let's go out." And when we went out, we both connected. And we was inseparable from there. I think we were both good because we were both on it wasn't about sex. It wasn't about nothing but just having fun. We were 15 and 16 just having fun.
I don't like that stalking talk. We got to talk behind this.
I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to tell you what the truth is. I can't lie.
No, G.
No, I ain't gonna, because
I wasn't chasing her down and saying I love you, but
the track meets is where the joints be at.
G,
I would watch it.
I ran track.
Chill out, man. I've been to 11 schools in my life. I haven't had the joy to enjoy that.
I'm just telling you.
So stop showing off.
I ran track for 2 years. You go to track meet the day there. I went to Holy Cross. So,
this man was
and Prep
by the bleachers.
Prep had the joints though.
This man was by the bleachers watching his future wife.
He was shooting his shot, man.
Yeah, girls do it. You don't think girls go to the basketball court and watch guys when they play basketball? They do the same shit.
They was at that practice too. They watched
now everybody's sensitive. Oh, who's stalking? No, girls used to go to the games to watch dudes. Dudes used to watch girls wherever they did. It is what it is. I'm not saying I would be writing notes and saying I'm gonna get you later. I didn't say that. I was just check her out.
Are you trying to bait him? Leave my man alone, bro.
You wrote a note. You wrote notes. I know you're tight.
I don't bring notes.
I know you're tight. Get out of here. You wrote a damn
I'm just honest.
You wrote a note. You wrote a note, and you were scared to give it to her. I know that type.
No.
I'm gonna give it to her today. It took you 4 months to give a note out.
No, I kicked it to her like every day, and she curved me every day.
Did you not write a note? Yes or no?
No.
You never.
After I wrote a zillion notes, but during that time, no, I didn't write no note.
So. While y'all was going when did the situation happen with Miss Gia? Is it Gia or Gia?
Gia.
Gia, thank you. I be saying when did the situation happen on Jamaica Avenue?
All right, so
no, wait, what grade were you guys in?
I was a junior, she was a senior. I'm sorry, I was a senior, she was a junior.
Got it.
So we were talking, we were dating, and I used to take her home every day. I had a car. I had at that time I think I had a Nissan Stanza. I don't even think they make them anymore. Nissan Stanza.
Oh, the Stanzas.
Gray. The car was so fucked up. It used to turn off on the highway. So you'd have to put it in neutral and turn it back on. But I used to take her home every day. And one of these days, a friend of mine was like, "Yo, I can't work." His name was Shahid. He was like, "Yo, I can't work today. Can you take my shift?" And I was like, "All right, I'll take his shift." So I told my man, "Yo, drop my girl home." He's like, "All right, I got you." He had practice, so he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be a little longer." So she was like, "Nah, I'll just take the bus." So she took the bus. She went to Jamaica Avenue to McDonald's, that infamous McDonald's on Jamaica Avenue. You know, everybody's been there. Mm-hmm. And when she went in there, she had a Catholic school uniform on, and these girls were making fun of her. You know, hey, you Casper looking bitch, you bleach looking bitch, you little light skin hoe, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. So, you know, they got into an argument. It was like 8-on-2, 9-on-2. Cops came, broke it up. So my wife was like, my girl at the time, my wife was like, "You know what? Let's just get the fuck out of here. Let's get on the dollar van and go home." So they walk into the dollar van, and the girls come back around the block and try to jump her. So now they fighting. One of the girls pulls out a blade, cuts my wife 60 stitches here, 30 here, and 70 here. And it was like 10 slashes in her jacket. And they ran off. Next day, you know, we went back down there with the police, and we found a couple of the girls, and I think one of the girls got like 12, 15 years. And, you know, if you really look at my wife's face, you'll see like a little scar here and a little scar there. That's where that comes from.
Wow. So a lot of people don't know that. And I talked to you about this, about, you know, you hold things very, you don't let things go.
No.
You harbor on things.
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure you checked if that lady came home from prison or not.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you... Stop. This man is dangerous. I'm pretty... And first and foremost, Ms. Gia is strong.
Yeah, very.
I asked her, you didn't know this. After the skit, I asked her downstairs. I said, "Ms. Gia, does it ever bother you?" And she said, "What, Flip?" So, you know, the scar you had cut. She said, "No." She said, "Man, I got over that long time ago." And I said, "But your husband?" She said, "Yes, I know. He doesn't." And I tried to tell him. And in that moment, she was keeping it real. She laughed about it and stuff like that. And, you know, I can see, like, I think it's dope because it reminds me of my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have that type of, you know, we'll take things more harder.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Nah, Flip, man, it doesn't bother me. I'm fine. I'm living life." But Envy now, he knows where the lady is at.
Yeah.
I think he know where they at. One of them is still in Queens, aren't they?
Yeah. I even know who played for the lawyer. Just me. That's
Yeah. He knows. Why? It was a mistake. They was kids. I'm not making an excuse.
You know
I'm
what
making
it
an excuse.
is?
But E, come on, E, that's kind of crazy. E.
You know what it is when people disrespect, and I know people find things funny. I just don't find it funny.
I respect.
You know
that.
what I mean? It's not my family and my kids. Make fun of me all day. Call me what you want to call me. Call me a bitch. Call me a this. Call me a that. I'm cool with that all day. Bring it to me. But when it comes to my family and my kids, it's just a different game for me. And I'm willing to take it that far. That's what people don't understand. I'm willing to take it that far. When things happen, you might not think it just happened regularly, but I'm willing to take it that far when it comes to my kids and my wife. And that probably comes from my pops, because my pops is the same way. My pops is wild when it comes to his kids. Well, me and his sisters. But that's how I am too. And I know every information of everything. And I just keep it there just in case.
But how does that work? Something happens to your wife. How old was Miss Gia at the time? 17?
She was probably 16 and I was 17.
Something happened over 27 years ago?
Yeah.
And, you know, when you told me, because you kept it real with me. That's one thing I like about you. You said, "Flip, man." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this man is crazy. Why I say that is because, my opinion, not that you're crazy, but I feel like it's gonna consume you. Yeah. I feel like you really a good dude, and when you talk about these things, you put passion into it. That you go, and it's like, to me, when we learn from you, somebody who's so influential to us, it's like, what's the end goal? Why? Why would you keep these tabs or understanding what can possibly happen? Is it in case your kids may want to see it in the street? Like, what do you think? How far do you think, or you do it to, in case I want to make their life a miserable hell?
Nah, and
I want you to be honest with me.
Yeah, nah, it doesn't consume me, but what I say, like, it's not something I think about every day. Like, oh, I can't wait till she gets out. She's out. She got a kid. I don't think about it like that.
Respect.
But I always like to cross my T's and dot my I's just in case. So that's who I am. So I'm that guy that likes to. I'm gonna put everybody's name and everybody's address and everything on the wall, just in case I need it. Just like if you talk to, I would say like, if you ever talk to somebody like a Hove, right? I'm sure Hove has lyrics for every rapper in the game. Not to say that it consumes him, but just in case he got to pull it off the board, he's gonna pull it off the board. It's already there. That's how I think about. So when I see people make moves and people be like, oh, well, Envy moves off of emotion. I don't. I think about everything I do before I do it.
Got it.
And I just make sure that I have that pull just in case I got to pull that tab one day. And if I got to pull it, I'm going to pull it. And I'm going to make sure I got all my information clear and correct.
Do you ever think that somebody can do something like that to Miss Gia and come home and change their life?
Absolutely.
Do you ever think that prison could have changed the women,
Yes.
the women life? And stuff. But honestly speaking, I want you to answer me honestly.
Yeah.
Do you forgive them?
No.
Ain't no closet to go over there no more.
I mean, you cut my wife's face 76 times and her leg 36 times. I can't forgive you without having a conversation. Yeah, do I feel people can change? Yeah, people can change. But they got to show me they can change.
Okay.
Now, if that person came home and was like, look, I was 17 when this happened, and I just want to say, I don't care if it means anything to you. I just want to apologize. I'm sorry. Then we can have that conversation.
Respect.
You see what I'm saying? But I just can't. Do you forgive somebody? Yeah, forgive. Nah, it don't work like that. It just don't. Just like if I hurt somebody, like, I'm sure you're gonna ask me about it later. But me and my wife got into an incident where I cheated. Right? I can't just be like, all right, she forgives me and it's over. Nah, it don't work like that. If I didn't show her that I changed as a person, as an individual,
right,
that apology wouldn't mean anything. Change behavior is better than an apology. You know what I mean? If me and you get into an incident and I be like, yo, Flip, I apologize. I understand what I did was wrong. And as man to man, I really apologize, bro. Then you could be like, oh, I fuck with Envy. But then if I do it again, you'd be like, nah, he's a bitch ass nigga. He just apologized when it's okay to. And that's how I look at change behavior. Now, if she called and sent whatever, then I would be like, I respect that. But if not, it just stays there.
Say no more.
All right, so back to the storyline now. You DJing and all that. Clue, you meet Clue. You practicing in the basement. After that, what's next?
Started practicing in the basement.
You said you and Mono had the group, the Envy.
Yeah, Mono. So he stopped DJing, and I started DJing on my own.
Right.
And I just started doing mixtapes, giving them out for free. Started doing everything from Sweet 16s to what's the Spanish Sweet 16? Quinceañeras,
yeah.
bar mitzvahs, you name it. I started doing everything. Instead, I started getting a little traction, a little name. And I sounded like Clue. My echo was the same echo.
Thanks.
So it was like, I don't want to say it, but I was kind of like the low budget Clue. But it was, I didn't care because Clue was my mentor. Like he was everything to me. And it just started popping. And then I started getting some of the parties. And I started making a name for myself. And then I think the biggest thing that happened was I went away to school. When I went to school, I went to Hampton, Virginia. Now it's no longer New York. Now I'm on Hampton's campus, and now I'm the man. I'm the DJ kid there. So now I'm doing every party in Virginia.
Right.
But not only that, I got a roommate from Jersey. He's put me on to Jersey music. I got a roommate from Mississippi. He's put me on to the South. I got a roommate from Indiana, a roommate from New Orleans. Now they're putting me on to all these different sounds of music. So now it's not just New York anymore. Now they're booking me in Atlanta. They're booking me in New Orleans. They're booking me in Charlotte. They're booking me, and now my name just continues to grow, continues to grow, continues to grow.
But you getting these records though from those cities, those songs? Because back then, this before Serato. For those who tune in now, like this,
so I'm getting records from those.
You can't just download.
Yeah, no, I had to have records, so it was actually buying records, or that's all. That was the only option, just buying records.
Right.
And then when I used to do mixtapes, I used to steal songs. So the way I would steal songs is, let's say you Irv Gotti, shout out to Irv. I used to steal a lot of my stuff from Irv, right? And if you ever been to Def Jam when Irv was at Def Jam, Irv used to leave his office open. And there's interns that used to run in and out. Back then, interns didn't get paid.
Right.
So now if I give an intern $100, he's giving me everything. And that's what it was. Same thing with Biggie. Back then, Biggie used to park his car in valet. He'd leave his CD in the car. I get a valet 50. He giving me the CD. And this is how I used to get my songs, through interns, through this, and people that work at the studio.
Right.
You work at the studio, you a rapper, and you treat the engineer like shit. He gonna give you a copy because for me, I'm gonna give him $300. So that was my way of how I used to get all those songs.
So you basically cheated.
I stole.
Stole, thief.
Yep.
Yeah.
You like that? That's cool.
I used the system.
It was the grind. I mean,
It was the grind.
this is
It's not
before
the grind. It's not the
Because
you can't download the song before. You can't use LimeWire not yet.
right,
Before
because
LimeWire.
what somebody would do is they would give the song to Flex, they would give it to Clue, they would give it to everybody before me because I was a new DJ. So why would they give it to me? So I had to get it off of how I had to get it off.
And you did all that. So how much money you spent to steal?
It didn't matter. Whatever.
What was the most? What was the most you paid for something?
Probably $500, maybe $1,000
For
something.
what? For what? You know.
I think the Biggie record was probably a stack, maybe. It was Pray for My Downfall. The name of that mixtape was, I think it was called Wanted Dead or Alive. That, and then I stole the song from Irv. It was Method Man, DMX, and Ja Rule off one of those soundtracks. He was mad. He was mad at me.
How mad was he?
What? I'm gonna fucking kill you when I see you. I'm gonna fuck you up. This, that, and the other. But at the time, I didn't care because I went back to school. So it was like, all right, I'll go back to Virginia.
How you got your number?
Everybody had my number back then. The number was on the mixtape. The only person that, well, a couple people looked. So I remember when Biggie came to Hampton, Virginia to perform. I remember Season and was running around campus looking for me that time.
Biggie was mad about that record?
Yeah, hell yeah. I put it out before anybody else.
I like that.
You like that?
No, I don't. That's stealing. That's stealing.
We all stole. We all stole.
See me?
I can't think. You probably stole something. I couldn't do that what he did.
That's a strategic plan though.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yep.
But how the hell you found out who the engineer was?
Well, shout out to Splash. Splash used to manage and host my tapes. And he used to go to the labels every day trying to get songs. So he would meet engineers. He would meet people in interns. He would meet everybody all day because he's up there all day long. He developed relationships with him. And it went from there.
Snap. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What's the transition? What was the transition where you went from DJ? Okay, because you in school, when you left school, and you came back to New York, right? What was happening next?
I was still doing mixtapes. My parents were kind of upset because they was like, all right, you graduated. Okay, now get a real job. They was like, their whole thing was get a job with a hat, meaning get a job with benefits. And I was like, I don't want to. And even though they supported me, they just didn't like it. Meaning they were like, my dad, he worked 20 years. My mom worked 20, 30 years. But they didn't like their job. Like, my dad had to work on Thanksgiving. He had to work on Christmas. He had to work on New Year's. And he was like, he didn't like that. So I was like, I want to put myself in a position where I don't have to work. And for me, I was making more money DJing back then, doing mixtapes than they were. So I'm like, why am I doing it? I ain't doing this shit no more. And they were supportive, but they weren't. It was almost like, yeah, they were like, all right, go ahead, do it. But now Gia's mom, she was super supportive. She came from an entrepreneur mindset, like, oh, what you need? You need more equipment? Oh, I'll buy it for you. Oh, you want a studio? I'll take care of it. Oh, you need this? She was like that. That's why me and Gia's mom was so tight.
Oh, wow.
Gia's mom did that for you?
Yeah. Even for our first house, when I bought my first house, we were short, I think like 25, 30 grand. 25 grand, I think we were. Gia's mom wrote that check. Yeah. Yeah. That's why before she passed, she had dementia. She lived with me for like, I would say maybe 6-7 years. Wow. And we took her everywhere I went. We took her. So when we went to Dubai, she went to Dubai. People used to be like, yo, you crazy. She ain't going to remember it. You know what I mean? She going to come back. But I'm like, I don't care if she remembered. I want her to live in the moment. So we took her to Dubai. We took her to all those islands, whether it was the Maldives or wherever it was, Turks. Every island you could think of, we took her. And, she stayed in my crib. She didn't pay no rent. She didn't have to pay no food. Whatever money that she got went into her account. We didn't care about that.
What did she do?
She worked at a church. She was an accountant. She worked for the church as an accountant.
CCC?
No.
Oh,
CC.
making all that money?
No. Yeah, but she worked for the church. She did accounting for a church.
I think that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
And rest in peace.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I did see when you posted, when she passed away. Or I think it was not when, but I don't know how long she passed away.
She passed away during the pandemic. It's about a year ago. She didn't have COVID or anything, but she passed away during the pandemic.
So I saw that, and we appreciate those stories. I think it's dope.
That's love.
Family love. You know what I'm saying? Parents want you to get a job. You don't want to get a job. You out here DJing. How long does it take from when you get on radio?
So doing the mixtapes was good, you know. And people talk about mixtape money all the time. Back then, we were making anywhere from 20 to 40,000 every 6 weeks doing mixtapes.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
I didn't quite get to that level yet. It was on the way. Me and Basketball was doing mixtapes too.
And just think about it this: Clue was number one. So who knows what that man was making? The way we did mixtapes, which was pretty cool, is since we were from the same block, we put our shit together. So if Clue had 10 machines and I had 5, we put our 15 together, and we would both dub his tape and my tape. And we were doing great. And then the RIAA started sending out notices and arresting DJs for making mixtapes. So I seen it like, damn, this is about to slow down. So I said, let me try to jump in the radio. So I started sending my my CDs and tapes to the radio stations. I sent it to Hot 97. Hot 97 was the only hip hop station at the time. And then they said, yo, we want to do something called Take It to the Streets. We're going to get the 4 hottest street DJs. I'm excited. I'm like, yeah. So they was like, all right, boom. They got K Slay. Rest in peace, K Slay. Got K Slay.
Peace.
Boom. They got Cool Kid. I'm like, okay. Green Lantern. Okay, next up is me? No. It was, damn, I don't want to fuck up this man's name. I was going to, can't remember his name. Damn, so sorry.
What was it called?
It was called Taking It to the Streets.
Okay, go ahead.
And the DJ was rocking for like 2 months and then got into a motorcycle accident and died. So when he passed away, they needed somebody else to come up. And that's when I got the call. And they called me and then I started DJing. I was going to say his name was Spin something. I can't remember the brother's name. I know he was a heavy hitter though.
Not triple. Was it? No, not.
Not DJ Threat. No.
Threat. It was Threat. DJ Threat. That's what it was. Threat.
Yeah, because he passed. I remember that.
It was DJ Threat. Rest in peace. So Threat passed away in a motorcycle accident, and then they called me up. And at the time, Hot 97 was very, very clicky. You either had to be a pit bull or a heavy hitter, and I was neither one of them. So it was very difficult for me to get into that system. Just like K Slay, if you ever listen to K Slay interviews, it was very difficult for him to get into that system. When I got to radio, I was doing midnight 12 to 4. They would give us a shift, but I was like, I want to do more. So I was the one that was there all day. Like, you know how you say you slept there, you slept here. I would sleep at the station. I would learn how to do the boards, learn how to tape interviews, talk to the program director about doing more than just mixing. And she was like, all right, I'll teach you. So she taught me how to speak on radio, taught me how to tease, taught me how to say different things. That was Tracy Clarity. And
Ice Queen Lady? They call
Ice Queen Lady, Tracy Clarity. So she taught me everything. She was the meanest, but it was needed. I think more radio stations need that. So every time I would do a shift, she'd call me in her office. Let's play the shift. And she'd be like, you think you should have said that there? You think every time you open a break, it's your boy DJ Envy? Like, people need to know it's your boy. Like, she would like break it down to what you say. And she'd be like, why would I stay in another 6 minutes? What's going to make me stay? Tease me, nigga. But she wouldn't curse because she's white. But she'd be like, tease me. Yo, coming up, we got your chance to win tickets to Summer Jam. Keep it locked. Now I'm going to stay because I want those tickets. Oh, keep it locked. Yo, I'm going to tell you what I seen at the party last night with Jay-Z. Now I'm going to stay. So she taught me the art of teasing. And that's where it started. So I started doing any shift I could possibly do. Middays, overnights, Sunday morning, Saturday night. It didn't matter. And I just started doing that. And then they needed a morning show. Right? Needed a morning show. Hired Joe Button. At the time, Joe Button was signed to Webb and Nitty. Webb is my brother. Love Webb to death. Webb said, we'll give you Joe, but this little light-skinned nigga got to come with him. That was me. So we both started doing morning radio together. At the time when he was doing morning radio, Joe Button also had a career as a rapper. So Def Jam hated it because he couldn't go on the road. He couldn't do records. And, Joe, at the time, everybody knew Joe was great doing radio. He was great as a personality, but he didn't have the work ethic at the time. So, like, in between breaks, he'd be going downstairs smoking a cigarette for 5-10 minutes. He'd be sleeping under the counter. We had to put the mic under the counter so he could do the break. But it was hard to do a rap career and radio. So it didn't work that long. He decided to leave. They needed a replacement. They called Miss Jones. Called called Miss Jones, and they threw me in there with Miss Jones. Me and Miss Jones didn't know each other from Adam. And I'm listening to her, and not to get in Miss Jones' pockets, they offer Miss Jones a salary. So I'm like, yo, I know we don't know each other. I said, but just so you know, they paid Joe this much, and I think you should at least get that. And she went back there and got the right pay. And ever since that, Miss Jones was like, I don't give a fuck who's on this radio. You leaving Envy here. And me and Miss Jones just connected. Like, I was her back. She was my back. Like, you couldn't talk shit about her. You couldn't talk shit about me. And we did radio for like, I think 3-4 years. But Miss Jones, she was the one that taught me how to do morning radio. She was the one that taught, like, as well as Miss Jones did, I would say this, and Miss Jones know, there was no prep. Like, you know how you got to prep for an interview and write this down? Miss Jones could come in there, just wake up, wipe the fucking snot out her eyes, whatever you call it, and be like, yo, let's talk about these girls got tattoos on their legs. Because you got a tattoo on your leg. And she would make it a topic where people really cared. And I'm like, that's fucking amazing. Let's talk about big guys taking their shirt off, acting like it's sexy. And she would make it a topic. And people be calling in. Girls always, they fat and they ugly. And big guys, no, it's sexy. And now it's a topic. And that's what made Miss Jones so great. She could do radio, do the interviews, but she can also make people care about what she had to say.
Right.
That was nice what he said about like throwing shots at me.
That was at you? Oh,
I had my shirt on.
Don't you talk about my friend like that.
Yo, all I'm saying is when I come to your house, I want to see you with clothes on, bro. I come in here, he opens the doors open, he's sitting there with his shirt off, and I'm like, are we taping a porn or are we taping an interview?
Hey, yo, listen, I was using the circular saw cutting and the dust got on, the shirt, you know what I mean? But it's not about that. It's not about that. So Miss Jones taught you a lot about the morning show.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Miss Jones.
I would say probably
Jonesy,
80-90% of everything that I know came from doing radio with her, learning what to do, what not to do, things that she did right, things that she didn't do right. That all came from learning from Miss Jones.
What was the next? What happened next?
So Miss Jones decided she didn't want to do New York anymore. Too much politics. And she went straight to Philly and did Philly radio. So I was left in New York. At the time, Cypher and Rosenberg came on. I couldn't connect with them. So I did a show called The New At 2. The New
What
At
you
2.
mean you couldn't connect with them?
They had their own shit. They have a different type of comedy, a different type of like they have they are like, and there's nothing against them. They're like Jerry Seinfeld. They're like
Got that dry humor.
The Office.
That's my show right there.
I'm not into that.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's my favorite show.
But that's their type of shit. But
Okay.
you gotta understand, like I tell you, most people think I'm Spanish. I'm not. My family is black, and when I say black, like they black, like the type of black that didn't really f with white folks because of years of shit that they had, racism against them. So I never watched those shows. So it's funny. I only watch black shows. It's the truth.
Just hold on.
Same thing with music. Like
Further
growing up as a kid, I never really listened to white artists. It was always the Temptations,
Right.
black
Nah, I
artists,
go
Diana
the same way,
Ross, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Like that's what I grew up on. Like my wife, who has her palette is a lot open when it comes to music, she'll be like, "Oh, that's you gotta have grace. Like she'll be like, "Oh, that's now that I know because I'm a DJ." But back then, I never listened to Madonna as a kid.
Nah.
I never listened to that shit
Facts.
because I grew up differently.
You ever listen to Queen?
Nope. I mean, I know now after being a DJ, but back then as a kid, nah, I never listened to that. That's
Mama, I just killed a man. You know that song?
yeah. I mean, I know the music now, but
Of course you do. Put some respect on Queen's name when you come in here. Let me ask you a question.
That's the only Queen song you know, though.
I know a couple of songs.
You know a couple of. All right.
Chill out. Listen, I beat you in a DJ battle already.
Never have you beat me in DJ
I
battle.
was just joking. Geez, nice. So before why does it gotta be? So you were the issue in that. You just didn't fit with them because you didn't have that humor.
they didn't put us together. And I think Tracy knew it wouldn't be a great fit because I was from a different side and they were from a different side. We never got the opportunity to like work with them. I just think they knew, and I went and did the New At 2.
Cypher don't get gas. That's Cypher Sounds, right?
That's Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg. Yep, absolutely.
Peter Rosenberg.
Yep.
Got it. But wait, real quick. Peter Rosenberg was on. No disrespect to Peter Rosenberg. Shout out to him. He's a wrestling fan. Not Saloon, but he been on Hot 97 before, all the way back then.
Yeah, they actually hired Peter Rosenberg to be a producer on the Miss Jones show. Miss Jones didn't like him.
Stop playing with
Miss Jones wouldn't even ask him. One time you get a check. Miss Jones
with the hate.
Miss Jones wouldn't even let him in the studio.
Miss Jones can't stop nobody from going to no studio.
Right.
Stop it, man.
Ask.
Stop.
He was brought there to be a producer for the Miss Jones show, and Miss Jones didn't like him.
There's no corner over there anymore, Flip.
I know. I'm not going to tell you. Stop lying. 'Cause you lying. She didn't like him.
Ask Jones.
How she didn't let him in the studio?
Ask Rosenberg.
How she didn't let him in the studio? How?
Because it was her show, and she was
How
like,
she didn't let him?
don't come in the fucking studio.
There's no locks on there.
All right.
I've been in there. I fought Ebro in there.
You been up here with Miss Jones. If Miss Jones say don't come in my fucking studio, you're not coming in her fucking studio.
So he ain't walk in?
He ain't want no problem. He was like, nah, all right, cool. I'll stay outside.
Why she didn't like him for? I don't like that. Damn.
She just didn't like him.
Why not? That's racist.
I don't think it had anything to do with being white. I think it
was because you and Miss Jones are racist.
No. I think it had to do with Hot 97 hiring him and not conferring with her. Because it almost felt like it was somebody that they brought in to watch her, and she didn't like that.
Oh,
see what I'm saying?
You guys got angles.
So that's
the
what,
man.
But they
brought the man in, right?
But that's how Miss Jones.
That's how you felt too. The man. They brought him in to watch.
Rosenberg was cool by me. I didn't care. He was a hip hop head, so I didn't care about that. But she felt like, but I would feel the same way.
Got him.
If I'm doing a show and you bring somebody in, black, white, Asian, I don't care what you are. You bring somebody in that's not that I pick. I'm thinking that they brought you in to check out to see what was going on. And especially during that time, because we would get in trouble all the time. Remember, Miss Jones is really one of the big reasons why there's a dump button in all these stations.
The one?
Yes, dump button. You got to push it. So if you don't know, no radio is live. All radio is at least on a 15-second delay. And the reason is if somebody curses or says something. We were interviewing Method Man on air. He was on the phone, live. Method Man start cursing. You, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. I think like 3 fucks went by. It was a $250,000 fine. And ever since then, I would say probably 100% of the radio stations now have dump buttons because of that. So Ms. Jones started the dump button trend.
Really? Mm-hmm. So and I'm gonna be respectful.
Sure.
Because I know this is sensitive.
You don't have to be respectful. Ask what you want.
No, I'm just saying because you're forgetting a group of people that was there that was that changed radio. Because you said Miss Jones went to Philly, but before she went to Philly, she was a part of a show. Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get it, and but we cannot take away the credit what Star did on radio. And I know that how you feel towards it, but you told the story and just skip that whole thing.
Yeah, I told the story from my point of view because they weren't there when I was there.
Oh, they weren't there when you were there?
No, I was doing middays. After Star and Buck Wild left, it was Sway and them that took over. And then after Sway and them took over, then came Joe Button and then came Miss Jones.
Oh, so you wasn't so got it. So the timeline is so Miss Jones, Star and Buck Wild and Miss Jones was earlier before you got there.
I was actually there the day that his last show. I was doing middays at the time. This is when Angie Martinez was pregnant. And Sonny was doing Angie's show and I was doing Sonny's show. So I was on after Star and Buck during their last show. And he got into argument with management, and when he left, he ripped the plaques down off the wall and all that. I was there that last day. Yeah.
You saw that? I'm gonna ask you a question. You
Ask me what you want, yeah.
Because I know this is sensitive for you, so I want to be respectful. And I told you, a lot of people don't know, and I got respect for you because I told you to your face when we had, not like that, but we had a conversation. And I told you I looked up to Star, like, his way of radio, and you didn't really judge me or anything. You listened and you gave me pointers about moving forward but you didn't hate. You did not hate. And that says something to me. You could have said, like, because people always try to, when I tell them that, even when I went up to Hot 97 and I was trying to work with P.O., shout out to P.O., and I told him that the idea I had doing late nights and I wanted to bring prostitutes and and these things, and I follow my motto after Star, he didn't say that he was supportive of other people around. And when I told you, I said, I consider him a mentor because I've his way of thinking in radio. I mean, you told me your story, but you didn't hate. But in the beginning stages, when you was at the station, right, and you saw that, did you have a disdain for him initially, or did you acknowledge what he has done for radio? Like at the time, you're like, oh, because you black, you from the hood, and to see a guy come on radio, remember at the time it was Howard Stern, and then at one point he beat Howard Stern in the ratings, so it was a big thing. Did you respect that, or did his personality not click with yours? Like, when somebody watched something, it's like, I don't like. Did you have any type of respect initially before the whole situation happened?
And this is no hate. I didn't listen to Star. I didn't have no respect for him because I didn't listen to him. See, you got to think, as a kid, I grew up on Ed Lover and Dre. When I went to school, I grew up on Ed Lover and Dre. When Star and them was on doing mornings, I was at Hampton University. So there was no social media. There was none of that. Like, so you only got the clips of what he did. And then when I got back home DJing, I didn't wake up in the morning. There was no reason for me to wake up in the morning. So I didn't hear it. Ed Lover and Dre, I heard every day going to school.
Got it.
I heard it on my way to high school. I heard it in my Walkman. I heard it in my pop's radio. So when Star and them, the only thing I heard was clips when he did something crazy that was on TV or when people were reporting about it. So for them, I didn't necessarily get it until later on. It just wasn't my thing.
It wasn't your cup of tea. But you can acknowledge that they did good for radio.
Yeah.
You can acknowledge, regardless of the personal fit. Let's move the personal out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they were geniuses of what they did at the time. Absolutely, can't deny that.
Okay. So, sorry, G, give me a second. You do the Noonet too.
So what?
No, you did it. You did the Noonet too. You was doing Noonet too, and that's when Star and them went over to
Power.
Yeah. What's that, Clear Channel?
It was Clear Channel at the time. Now it's iHeart, but it was Clear Channel at the time.
Okay. And before Hot got bought, what was that again?
Emmis
Communications. Because Hot got bought by some.
Yep.
Yeah, you're aware. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like you, nigga. I know my secrets.
Okay.
I learned. Yeah. I was at your house, nigga, taking notes.
Yeah, shut up, man.
So, how does that whole thing transition? Like, how did you get involved with the Jones and Star debacle? Because were you still on her show at the time?
Yeah, I mean, I was never not on Jones' show, so we were on the show together. And we were riding together, doing interviews, doing skits, trying to win. You know what I mean? At the point, I think I had my first child at the time. My wife might have been pregnant with the second. So at the time, I didn't know what was happening. I'm just trying to make sure I can survive. I stopped really doing mixtapes like that. I was doing parties. And, Jones and Star and them have history because she used to be on the show. So now, back then, they're throwing cannons at each other. He's throwing a cannon at her. She's throwing a cannon at him. He's throwing a cannon at her. And then he says something about her child. Jones is like my sister. Anybody, I might not defend you. Even you. You get into a situation, a fight, I might laugh and be like, damn, Flip just got into a fight. But please believe, if you're not around and your son is there, I'm going to fight for your son like he's mine. Because you're my friend. You know what I mean? G-Money, I don't know if you have kids, but if G-Money has kids, and his kids is around and they coming to me like, yo, G-Money's my dad. Same thing. Same thing with Puff kids. I've been in clubs with them. I make sure they good. Because I would hope if the situation was different and Puff was somewhere and somebody said, yo, I'm Envy's son, Puff would be like, yo, make sure he gets home. And I know Puff would. I know Buster would. I know Fat Joe would. I know Fabulous would. I know Clue would. Some people in the industry, I know Nori would. These are the people that I know would do it. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel. He threw a cannon about that and it just went left.
You said something about Jalen, right?
Her son. I don't remember.
Jalen.
Probably
Yeah,
him.
it was Jalen, the oldest one. Yeah.
Probably that one, yeah.
So he said something about her son and you responded to him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what you said?
Nah, I don't. People could Google it, I'm sure, though.
And then
the reason I'm not being in depth is because I've been sued about this a couple of times. So the last suit was like, I think he tried to sue me for $100 million. I think it was. Let's say allegedly. Yeah. So.
No. Well. Yeah. Didn't somebody threaten threatened to put hands on him on your radio station, sir?
Yeah.
You think that's nice?
I don't care. I don't care. If somebody disrespect my family, I don't give a fuck what somebody say about somebody else. I don't give a fuck. And that was the game. Shout out to the game. The good brother of the game. You talk about my family, you talk about my kids, my wife, and somebody comes on the station and have a problem with you, I don't care.
I don't want to rehash what was said. You know, can you respect? I think that because Ms. Jones said in an interview, and I just want to. But what I do want to say is this. Let me close my laptop and talk to you real quick.
Yep.
This is how I know you take things too serious, and I'm going to expose our conversation. Can I speak freely?
Sure.
When I told you that Star was a mentor to me and I look up to him, and you listened to me, and I asked you, would you forgive him?
Mm-hmm.
You told me no.
Okay.
You said I would not forgive him because my daughter, and you said that if it was me, I would have let it go. But you said I think either you or Miss Jones told me that, but you was very upset. Mm-hmm. And it was on my Maddie, right? It was
yep, my daughter Madison.
Yeah.
And my wife, yep.
And your wife. So, but this is what got me. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you now because I was in your house, I was trapped by a dog.
Ask me.
But you tried to buy his home. Oh, you didn't think I know that, huh?
That's facts.
You didn't think I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you going too far, yes?
Yeah.
I told you, Envy, you going too far, correct? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you did.
Was I being a groupie? Like, oh, E. Did I say, oh, E, that's cool? I said, E, what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
And you told me that Miss Gia stopped you from purchasing a home because she stated that the money would go to him, right? Something like that you told me?
Yep.
That's what made me feel like you have a problem.
No.
E.
I'm going to tell you why.
E, this was years E.
No, because this is at the time when he was trying to sue me for $100 million. So he was trying to sue me. So, yes, I was good because allegedly the house was going into foreclosure. So I was going to buy it, bulldoze it, and give it to the Goodwill. Yes, I was. Absolutely, positively. The reason I didn't is because my wife was like, if you buy it, you're giving him money to fight you. He's going to use your money to fight you on a case. That was the only reason I didn't. But you goddamn right I was going to buy that motherfucking crib and I was going to bulldoze it and give it to the Boys and Girls Club.
But you tried to
goddamn right.
You tried to sue him first, though. You sued him first.
I didn't try to sue him first.
You didn't sue him, right? Mm. You sued somebody, E.
Who?
Oh, E, don't do that, E. Did you not sue? E, we're not doing it. Okay,
but think about it like
you
this.
Can't really talk. You can't talk about it.
I can't talk about anything. But
okay, cool.
But wouldn't it be crazy if the company that I got into a contract with fired him and then hired me later? Wouldn't that be crazy?
What do you mean?
What company did it? What show did he do?
Well, I don't want to talk about that.
I'm just asking. What show you did? What mornings at where?
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
The mornings at Power.
Gee, chill out. Stay out of this.
Power let him go. We took his job and then hired me. And then I've been on that show longer than him. And the Breakfast Club got more influence than his show has. I think that's good enough. Get back, don't you?
People say things, E.
I'm just saying, isn't it?
I'm not saying.
And the influence is not just in the culture. It's also in encouraging people to buy real estate and homes, encouraging people mental health, encouraging people to be entrepreneurship. You tell me a motherfucker that's on radio, besides the Breakfast Club, that has encouraged people like that. Tell me one. Out of all the years you listen to radio. See, because we don't do it for the money. Yeah, I like cars and I got Lambos and Ferraris and all types of things. When you listen to that Breakfast Club, what do we encourage people to do and what do we teach people how to do? Listen to any show. Night, mornings, afternoons. Who's done that for the culture? Who? Just name one. Who has done that for the culture?
I cannot.
You can't. Because nobody. Because we came from a different angle. People could talk about all the shit that Charlamagne does. He's encouraged a world of people to get mental health. Learn mental health. You could talk about me all you want. Call me any type of name. But most people are looking to buying real estate because this little light-skinned nigga right here.
That's a fact.
You could talk about Angela Yee and whatever you like about her, don't. But the fact that she's an entrepreneur and owns multiple buildings, coffee shops, juice bars, and a tip
I heard shout to
nobody's been able to do that. So it ain't about the money with us. We done made our money. But now it's about helping the culture. And that's when I get upset when I see people on radio or do their job and they don't help. They don't pull nobody up. So when you talk about radio personalities that you think are great and you think that you love and they don't pull nobody on,
don't do that.
They don't pull nobody up.
Don't throw shots at me like that.
I'm
Listen, don't do that. Don't do that.
When you talk about
I'm not judging you. Now
personalities,
you're judging me now.
You could talk about anybody that you say that mentors you, but what really mentors me is when a nigga comes up to me and says, Envy, I bought my first home because I heard you. Envy, I went to this person because you helped me out. Envy, I appreciate you and you helped me with my marriage because of the book you wrote. That's what means the most to me.
Don't throw shots at me. Pay attention.
I love you. I ain't gonna throw no shots at you.
Listen to me.
But I'm just telling you what it is.
God teaches you to forgive. Now, I can't tell a man what to forgive or what not to. And I ask you this personally.
Mm-hmm.
You hold on to things. You do. And I'm not saying you shouldn't.
I don't. See, but that's the thing.
Okay.
I don't sit there with all these people's names on my door.
But you know what I mean.
But when you ask me a question, I answer. I don't go home at night and I'm looking at my daughter like, yo, you remember that dude that snuffed me in 3rd grade? I'm going to get him back. I don't.
But you answer with vigor.
When I'm on 3rd grade, when I'm on my 5-year-old, we talking about, Dad, can you teach me how to swim? And I'm like, sure, baby. But when you ask me, I'm going to just tell you how I feel.
True.
Because at the end of the day, I want them to know that, like, there's a reason why I keep my page not on private. I want them to see how successful I am. I want them to see how successful my family is by doing it the right way. I don't have to hurt anybody. I don't have to talk shit about nobody. I could have fucked this man's relationship up or fucked his character up. I don't have to do that.
Right. I mean, you put
even with you, Queens, like if there's an opportunity and you need something, I try to be there.
You put me
when
on.
You call me, yo, E, I want to do an interview. All right, what day? What day you free? Monday. What time? 11, 12. I'm here. I try to help people. Even when you were looking at a crib, when you were showing me.
Chill. Let me say that myself. Let me say that myself.
Right. But I was there for you. Right? I didn't say, yo, go fuck yourself. I said, yo, what you need? You need a mortgage? Here's the mortgage guy. You need your credit fixed? Here's this. Did I not?
Let me say it myself. I don't take that from you. But I wouldn't be a good friend if I don't understand how my friend think. I do understand how you think, but I just want to see. I feel like in the world of society, we must forgive. You're not a person that forgive too easy.
Did your mentor go help you with any of that stuff?
I consider him my mentor because I follow his ideology.
You ain't answer the question. I'm just answering the question.
Did he help me with any of what? He helped me
anything that we talked about.
No.
Okay.
But you can't make comparisons because the rapport is different.
Everybody I look at as a mentor that I care about, look out for me.
He looked out for me.
I can call Clue right now, and I can say, Clue, yo, I'm fucked up. I need 30 grand. Can I hold it to next week? Matter of fact, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now.
G, don't pull it up. G, put the box back. It's raising by itself. It's raising by itself.
Now, he might not pick up. Let's see.
If we talk
I think it's wrong to try to. Don't pick up. Don't pick up.
Damn, I didn't pick up. He must be in Miami, rolling loud.
Don't pick up. Yeah.
I didn't pick up. But anybody that I consider a mentor, I can call. And I guarantee they won't even ask any questions because they're like my family. There's somebody I look up to that guide me and I help them, they guide me. But that's how it is. But I can call Clue and ask him for whatever and not a problem. But that's the type of relationship it is. We have to teach each other. We have to help each other. It's not just about flossing and what we did. If we can't pull each other up, especially in our community, it don't mean nothing.
First of all, I did. First of all, I consider my mentor because of what I learned from him.
Okay.
That's number one. No, let me tell you. Because you can't speak for me, E.
Mm-hmm.
I consider the things that you're bringing up, no. We didn't speak about those type of things. But the things that I was into as far as learning radio and business and certain clause and not trying to make the same mistakes and you know, that I appreciated that knowledge. That's just me.
That's good.
You know what I mean? And I don't have conversations with you about radio, nigga. I have conversations with you about family and real estate. You put me on. You put me on to the mortgage guy. You put me on to some people. I ain't gonna lie, nigga, but you can't force that out of me.
I'm not forcing nothing
You
on
can't use the fact that I respect somebody and use it against me to prove a point. That's wrong. That is a tactic. That's wrong. That's what you did. That's what you did.
It's just like
that's wrong.
else.
That's abuse of power.
Some people respect everybody. Some people respect R. Kelly. Some people respect that. That doesn't make you less of a person.
Did you not once respect R. Kelly?
I like R. Kelly's music, of course.
Okay.
Do I respect him as a man? No. No way.
Do you still like his music?
His music is dope, yes. But I can separate the art. And I'm going to tell you why. Because some of those songs are embedded in my feelings of life. Like my first dance was Stepping in the Name of Love with my daughter. Those are memories that I can never forget. See what I'm saying?
Niggas graduated to I Believe I Can Fly.
Like Cosby Show. The Cosby Show is the reason I went to Hampton. So people can sit there and say, oh, Cosby did this, I can't. No, but he is the reason why I even went to college. Because me growing up in Queens, I didn't see nobody around me that went to college. There was nobody that went to school. And if they did, they went to community college, 2-year school. So me watching the Cosby Show inspired me to go to Hampton University. So yeah, people could say, oh, he did this, he did that. But that art that he created influenced my life in a positive way. Same thing with R. Kelly. That art that he created, as fucked up as an individual as he is, created memories with my child. So those memories I can never forget.
Got it. Well, I have memories too.
I'm not mad at you.
That are good memories that created, you know, that, you know, I'm about to turn up on them, G. Activate me. I'm gonna move on from this, but I don't know about a lot. I'm just gonna say that algorithm, different things, and just the knowledge that was bestowed upon me. I learned, and it helped me and flip the script, and it helped me with numbers, and it helped me learn how to move. That's what I learned. And before I, you know, and I appreciate you respecting that. You said that to my face, and that's why I look at you different. I hold you different. You did not once try to. You did tell me about the home thing, but you didn't try to diss him to me. This is the first time you even said that much.
Yeah, no, today. I mean, I don't talk about certain things. It's just certain things. You asked me, so I answered. But
I don't like the way you answer.
I never hold it like I think about it every day. But when somebody asks me about it, I answer. I'm never afraid to answer anything. But I will say this though, when it comes to the people that I care about, you know, I've gotten into more beef because of Clue than myself. And not because of anything but somebody saying something disrespectful about him. And I hold Clue to a high power because if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be. If any, like, and that's why I always give Clue his flowers. Because that's my brother. When I posted something, I think like a week ago, I said if that man could never go broke, I would have to go broke for him to go broke. He could never go broke. And no disrespectful to anybody out there. He would like, sometimes you see a DJ and, you know, during the pandemic, DJs were doing so many different things, right? Just trying to stay afloat, right? Some were doing Uber. Some were doing Uber Eats. Some were doing this, and I get it. And it is. But if you a DJ and your big homie or the guy that taught you how to DJ did not help you out during that time and you helped him, that's a problem. Like, I would put Clue on salary if I had to. That's how much I care about that brother. That's how much him putting me on I appreciate. And you don't get that. Same thing with Mono. Mono, he lives in Atlanta. That nigga called me for anything, I drop it and I head out there. Because those are relationships and things you can't get back. Because they didn't have to do that. They didn't. And that's what we should be doing as a culture, right?
You like that? You like what he just said?
Yeah. I look up to Envy. How he moves and, you know what I'm saying? How stand-up guy he is and, you know, the whole DJ, you know.
No rapper or DJ should ever have to do when they pass away, have to do a GoFundMe to bury them. Like, ain't that wild?
That's
like, you're a rapper, you perform for all these people, a record label and this, that, and the other, and then they die, you got to create a GoFundMe to put you in a box? That's not wild.
Why you said that?
You a DJ and you done played all these artists' records, and you got to do a GoFundMe to bury you? That's wild. That is wild.
I can't look up to Envy? No? No. Oh, so I got to tell him, oh, don't you talk to my friend like that.
Thank you. Tell him again.
Don't you talk to my friend like that.
What do you mean look up to him? You said you looked up to him before. But I tell you, stop that.
I always did, man. He's cool.
You can't give it to him yet. You can't give it to him yet. You said it prematurely. You can't give it to.
That'll count.
Okay.
So how would you?
Sorry, go ahead, bro. Sorry.
What's your relationship with Star now? Like, if you was to see him now,
what? What? Why would you go here? G, no, please.
If before we move on to the.
G,
Nah, I mean, I've never spoke to that man. We never
spoke
had a
to him.
conversation.
Please let it go, man.
We never had a conversation. You know what I mean?
If you had a conversation,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm always open to a conversation.
got you.
I mean, I'm not against the conversation. If anybody ever had problems with want to have a conversation with me, I'm cool with it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just where we go at the end of that conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean? If somebody feels they're wrong, they feel they're right, they can say this out. I'm not a dickhead, but, you know, it's like anything else. You feel one way, I feel another way. We could either agree to disagree and never fuck with each other again, or we could just agree and say, you know what, I was wrong. It depends, but, you know, no, but I've never had a conversation with that man.
All right. So now we move forward from the start thing now. What? You said I can't answer a question.
You that dude, G. You know you my friend, man.
Am I?
Yeah, I like you. I don't like him.
You don't like it?
You deleting shit now? You deleting shit? I'm watching your notes. I said, yeah.
As we talk during the show, I take shit off.
You're a professional.
You know what I'm saying?
So you do that. What was the decision to leave Hot 97 to go to 105?
Okay, so Clue had already left and went to Power.
Why?
I don't know. That's a conversation you gotta have with Clue. I don't know. Why he left.
You just don't want to answer.
It might have been more money. It might have been more time. They gave him his own shift because Clue was only doing, I think, one night a week. So probably they gave him a time. I don't know. But Power 105 was grinding. They had Ed Lover in the morning. They had Malika Millette. They had Deja Vu. They had Clue. And they were trying to skew younger. I didn't want to go to Power. I was trying to use Power as the 52 fake out to get a bigger position at Hot. At the time, I was only doing the New It 2. And I'm like, I'm just not here to just play fucking 30 minutes of records, 25 minutes of records. I wanted a shift. But there was no shift. It was Cypher and Rosenberg in the morning. It was middays with, I believe, it wasn't even Sonny because they let Sonny go. It was, Dennis. Remember Dennis? Big Dennis.
Big Dennis.
So Dennis was doing middays. Angie Martinez doing afternoons, Flex, and then I think overnights, might have been Scoop. I'm not sure. And I wanted something more. Give me middays, give me nights, give me something. Overnights, give me something. So I kind of went in there, I was like, yo, now Power was hollering at me. But I was like, yo, Power's hollering at me, you know what I mean? If y'all can't give me something else, I gotta go. And Ebro was like, word? You gonna leave the Yankees? And I'm like, yeah.
He's the program director at the time.
He was a program director at the time. And he was like, you gonna leave here for that sinking ship? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, all right, hold on. He called. He was like, it's nothing we could do. I was like, all right, I'm out. But I already my locker. So all I did was grab my bag. And I remember I got downstairs and he was like, he called me back. He was like, yo, you really gonna leave? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, you sure you want to do that? And I'm like, bro, yeah. Hung up the phone and went over to Power 105. Now, mind you, I didn't plan this out. My plan was I'ma leave. And you know how you'd be like, I'ma leave. Oh, please don't go. We go. That didn't happen. So when I left, I didn't even have a contract in place. So I actually made less money at Power than I did at Hot. When I moved to Power, I think I probably made the minimum, after minimum, which was like $65,000 a year, doing afternoons. And usually, if you listen to anybody on radio, that's what you make in a small market. So I was making no money. But, like I told the program director, Cadillac and G-Spin, I was like, yo, y'all stuck me up for this year, these 2 years. I said, but please believe this third year, I'm going to stick y'all up. Because I knew what I had. I knew nobody had to grind like me. I knew nobody could just go and do 3 shows a night, be in the studio doing a album, traveling, and making it for radio. I knew nobody was going to do that. So we started. I started doing the afternoons, and the afternoons numbers were great. And then Caddy came to me and was like, yo, we want to skew a little younger. Would you mind? Would you want to do mornings? I was like, no, I'm not doing no mornings. I ain't doing mornings no more. Nah. He was like, well, what if we double your salary? I was like, it's not enough. I ain't doing it. Good. He's like, all right. He called me back. He was like, well, what about if you triple the salary? And I'm like, let's do it. I'm like, who we working with? He was like, Charlamagne. I'm like, nah. He's like, why not? I'm like, Charlamagne been fired 4 times. At this time, I had 2 kids. I said, I got 2 kids. I can't fuck with him. He was like, nah, he's changed. Talk to him. So I spoke to him on the phone, and it was good vibes. I was like, all right. I was like, all right, well, who else? It's like Angela Yee. I'm like, nah. He's like, why not? I was like, well, she works at Sirius Satellite Radio. I said, she curses like a sailor. I said, we're going to bring her on here. She going to see some wild shit. We're going to be fired. He's like, nah, trust me, we good. I said, all right. So they was like, well, we want to make it your show, DJ Envy in the morning. I said, nah. He said, why not? I said, well, a couple of reasons. I said, one, because if it fails, I can't go back to radio because now that's DJ Envy failing. I said, not only that, if we do it where all 3 of us have the same percentage, we all want to put the same effort in. So let's do it, all 3 of us, and create a name. And that's what we did. We came up with all different types of names. Illuminati in the morning, you name it, the Big 3, and then it was the Breakfast Club. It was almost the Big 3 because at the same time, that was when LeBron went to Miami. It was LeBron, Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. So it became the Breakfast Club. And the rest is 13-year history.
Wow.
Why are you looking at me like that, Flip?
The Breakfast Club
Yes, sir.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Charlamagne the God. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
What you got for him?
Yeah, I'm gonna get him. What get him now?
Yeah, you would get him now.
You got something? You got something? Because easy on in.
Hey, pause first of all. But nah, my question is online after the timeline. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure, turn up.
yeah. Before you do that, I do want to highlight before we go to Power and all that Hot 97. I definitely want to take the time to shout you out again for shout me out on Hot 97. The whole Jason Fox record on Jackie. That was a big situation on Hot before we get to the Power.
Oh, get him.
It's time. I'm gonna go to the timeline. So before we get to the Power and all that other stuff, I wanted to stop right there and you know what I'm saying. Definitely give him his flowers for giving me my flowers back then. Remember the party that we did?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about it or?
Well, since Flip wants to talk about mentors, so one of the jobs, what I told you I always grinded, I worked for Jermaine Dupri.
Mm-hmm.
And my job for Jermaine Dupri was breaking artists. And we would run the clubs, whether it was Beanie Man, whether it was Bubba Sparks, whether it was Killer Mike, Janet Jackson. And he was like, yo, I want to sign somebody from New York. And me being around the clubs, I thought back then when y'all were dancing in the chicken noodle soup era, I just thought that was dope for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought Jermaine Dupri the On Jackie record, which y'all all did. And most people tell me like when you sign an artist, sign them to you. I didn't want to do that. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted these kids to be heard. And I brought them to Jermaine Dupri, and Jermaine Dupri signed them to a deal.
G Money gave you that. Yeah, tell him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So I did a party in Queens. I think it was Club Gamma at the time.
Yep.
Astoria, Queens. The story's online too. Envy definitely put it on the a scenario had it behind the scenes for the video shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, so we played a party. Envy was the headline DJ. He played before me.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably 1-2 in the morning set. Went crazy. Played all of the hot records. I jumped on after him on the set. Started out with the Lifey music. Played it on Jackie record. Envy was like, "Yo, what's this?" I'm like, "Yo, Jason Fox joint." Da 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 da. So I sent Envy the record the next day, and then he got them the deal. So Jason Fox got his joint on Jackie record. You know what I'm saying?
Got him a deal. And Def Jam hated on that record too.
Is it they hated on it?
Yeah. Because it wasn't a typical Def Jam type of record.
Right.
It was, Def Jam was more about lyrics and lyricists and this, that, and the other. But I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as kids need records too. And needed records that wasn't talking about drugs and guns. And at the time, that was like the Chicken Noodle Soup record and Ron Browse and all those. And I thought it would have been a good wave for Def Jam, but they didn't feel into the record, so they never pushed that record.
So how'd you bring them? Like, so you brought Jason Fox to Jermaine Dupri? Like you called out Jason Fox and brought him up
so JD hired me at the time it was Virgin Records, and then he moved to Def Jam. He hired me at Virgin Records because I used to be out every night. And what I tell everybody all the time, and this is no disrespectful to anybody, but it always sounds disrespectful when I say it. So back in the day, DJs weren't fly, right? Just think of Queen's Flip, right? Overweight, sweaty, black T-shirt. That was it.
Don't you talk about my...
but for real, that's how DJs were back then. If you think of the DJs, right? Whether it's Mister Cee or Flex or SNS or Craig G or any one of those DJs back in the day, DJs really didn't care. They came to get the party on. They were carrying crates and this, that, and the other. Me, I was different. I wanted to be fly. I wanted to be the fly DJ. While those DJs, whether it was Flex, Craig G, SNS, or whoever, they catered to the streets. I catered to the ladies. I wanted to be something different. So I was the fly one with the jewelry and the nice cars. One time we leaving the club, and I remember we all walking out, and my Bentley sitting there, brand new Bentley, white, red top, convertible. JD was like, yo, whose car is that? I hear him say it. I don't say nothing. So I kind of rush out, boom, open the door so he could see me in it.
Right.
He stops me right there. He was like, this your shit? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, you making this money by DJing? I'm like, yeah. He was like, damn, you out every night. I'm like, goddamn right. He's like, yo, come to my office tomorrow. Came to his office, hired me right there. It was like, I want you to help me work this. And we broke all those records. We broke them Franchise Boys. Everybody you could possibly, we broke. And that was all from JD having a great vision. And Aunt Jackie was one of the people.
That's dope. That's dope. I mean, to this day, people still notice me as like the Get Light DJ or that, from that situation. You know what I'm saying? Using them on Hot 97 Morning Show. You shouted me out for breaking that record in the club that night. So I, appreciate that.
Did I ever ask you for anything for it? $1, a dime? Did I say, yo, give me cut? Did I ask any of them for it?
Well, nah, that wasn't my record.
I know, but did I ask anybody for that?
Nah.
I did it out the kindness of my own heart. I didn't ask for nothing. I did it for the culture. Just wanted you to know, Queens.
He's throwing a lot of shots at me. Why you did Red Cafe like that? Let's talk about it.
Red is my brother. I love Red.
Shout out to Red.
Yeah. The co-op. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You thought I forgot about that? I was at that video shoot with Scenario, Fab. I was there. It's last time you spoke to Red Cafe, a long time ago.
About a month ago.
Really?
Yeah. He had a new project. We were actually going to do the co-op too, so I still speak to Red. Do you know how I met Red?
Damn, man. I wanted to catch it.
Try it.
Yeah, that made me Red. Damn.
Red's my brother, man.
I had this in my mind all day. Yeah, shout out to Red Cafe. Yeah, well, how you met Red?
Sometimes you need somebody to tell you you're going too far. I got into an incident in the street, and I didn't know who I was going up against. And Red pulled me to the side and told me to chill. And he told me what it was. And I'm sure you're going to ask me later on. So when he told me that, I respected it because everybody else was telling me to go. And Red was the only one that said, nah, it's not worth it. And because of that, I was like, he's a good dude. And when I go past good dudes, I try to help. And I was like, I'm going to help Red. And I helped push Red's records. And then we did an album together. And Red's still my brother.
So what was the street incident?
Walking out of a club. Now, back then, allegedly, I would carry a 2-2 in my shoe, right? I used to call it the back a nigga off me, right? Just enough to get a nigga off of me, right? 2 shots in that shit. I bought a new Range Rover. And I drove, every time I bought a new car, I would drive to Queens to show my pops. So I had the gun in the windows, in between the sunroof. So my dad's looking at the Range Rover. He's like, oh my God, this car is nice. He pulls up the sunroof, the gun falls. Boom. And he's like, yo, what's this? And I'm like, look, Pop, I'm DJing parties. He was like, yeah, but you'll go to jail for this. And I'm like, I'd rather go to jail than lose my life. So we got into a big argument about it. That night we got into an argument. I was like, you know what? Let me take this gun home. Took the gun home. It was a bigger gun. Took the gun home. And I took the little gun. Put the little gun in my shoe. Go do this party. I'm DJing this party. I walk out, and there's 2 dudes walking up the street. They dressed up like to the T, all white. I see them walking towards me. I'm with 3 dudes. I'm with 2 dudes. They on the other side of the Range Rover. I'm on the driver's side of the Range Rover. They walking up to me. I'm thinking they want an autograph. They dressed up nice, all white. I'm like, oh, they want an autograph. Back then, there was nobody taking no selfie with you. You want no selfie. Nigga was like, yo, give me a chain. Dressed up, all white. I'm like, okay. So now my dudes, they on the other side of the car. They don't see what's going on. They talking, they don't see. So now I'm talking loud, like, huh? What? Yo, give me a fucking chain. Huh? What? So now my dudes see. So my dudes come around. Nigga back out the gun. So I take my chain off and I try to throw it on the building. Stupid shit. Should have gave it away. Should have just gave it up, but didn't. When I go to throw the chain, dude hits my hand. The chain falls under the car. Yo, where the fuck is the chain? One dude stood up. One dude ran. Right? Dude says, oh, the chain go right there. Picks up the chain. Takes off a shot. Bow! Shoots at me. They running out the block with my chain. We chase them. Get into a high-speed chase in New York. They crash. One runs right. One runs left. We chase the driver. Now, mind you, the driver, he's from Brooklyn. He had just won Lotto like a week before. Won like 80 grand in Lotto, 100 grand in Lotto. Catch him. We detain him. It's my cop words. My dad's a police officer. We detain him and hold him until the police come.
Put the mic down in your face. Cover your face. I want to see your face. Turn the mic down.
He was in a coma for, I think, 2 weeks. He was in a coma for 2 weeks. Huh?
Just get radio guy.
He was in a coma for 2 weeks. And when he came home, he said I robbed him and took his watch. Anyway, long story short, the dudes that allegedly set it up was from Brooklyn. And so you know how I am. If you come at me, I'm ready for all-out war. But that wasn't the fight I would have wanted. He was too connected, he was a street dude that it would have went all bad. So Red Cafe heard and came and told me to chill, told me what it was, and I respected Red for that ever since.
Did you ever spoke to the dude that set it up? You ever spoke to him? Okay.
Yeah, he actually died though. He got killed in a club. But before that, we spoke. I had nothing to do with that, nothing to do with me. But we did speak. You know, we squashed everything, and we actually became cool. Like I remember him calling me asking for tickets to see Kanye was performing. We actually became, I wouldn't say cool, but cordial. But yeah, he was. I think he was killed a couple of years later in the club. But Red was the one that, because it could have got. I wasn't prepared for that. And like Red's whole thing was, you can't be a civilian and go to war with a street person. And the reason being is, he knows where you at all the time. He knows what time you go to the radio. He knows what time you go to the gym. He knows what time you go to the clubs. He knows it. You saw on social media. That wouldn't make sense. And he was the one that put me onto that. And I just always respected Red for that.
At the time, though, you and Red were already cool, or you met him?
Nah, I didn't know Red. I mean, we was all out in the street, so we would just pass, and you see everybody.
Right.
Like this is when rappers were out, so you would see Red, you would see Mano, you would see Jay, you would see Buster, you would see everybody in and out. So that's what that was.
I heard that. Why is somebody always trying to rob you? Let's talk about that.
Honestly,
yeah,
because I look sweet. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. First of all, niggas always think light-skinned niggas is sweet. Second of all, I'm on a radio station, I'm joking and laughing all day. Third of all, yeah, niggas probably think I'm sweet.
How much
time? Goddamn right.
How much time there was you got robbed on an attempt?
You talk to any light-skinned nigga that come from the hood, they say they fought more than anybody else because of that.
Let's talk about you. Stop comparing. Don't make it a big.
These niggas think I'm sweet. This nigga think I'm sweet.
I got a lot of respect for you. I got a lot of love for you. But at the same time, I did hear that somebody tried to rob you on the highway. Or shoot at you on the highway.
Try to carjack me, yeah.
Well, the Hudson River? You was on the Hudson? You let... I don't know if I can say this, man. Don't get me to snitching, but... You let shots off on the highway.
I let what?
You let shots off on the highway.
That's what you heard?
You know I heard that. I spoke to you about it this morning.
If you heard it, you heard it.
Was it an illegal firearm?
You're not allowed to carry guns in New York City. So if anything happened in New York City, I don't know. I don't know.
Can you tell me that incident that allegedly happened?
I don't know. I mean, I
Just
guess.
hypothetical. Just tell me a hypothetical of what would have happened. Like you're driving the highway and you have a confusion.
I mean, I mean, if anybody's driving down the highway and somebody tries to rob them at gunpoint and they have a firearm, they're gonna shoot back, correct?
But how can somebody rob you while driving?
See, you getting your stories messed up, but it's two different stories.
You know the story I want to know.
Because the one that you're talking is the one that the two dudes that just tried to rob me. That's where that happened.
When
The other story, the carjacking, was something different.
when the guy ended up in the coma.
You messed up the stories. The coma is the one what you're talking about right now, that the shooting allegedly
That's what I'm
happened on the
saying.
highway.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's go back because you said when you told me I messed it up.
I said we did a high speed chase.
Yeah, but that's not what I heard.
What you heard?
Did anything have to do with the Hudson?
Hudson River? Yes, it was by the Hudson River. Wow.
Ooh. Here you go.
Oh man.
Round of applause. The Hudson Man. Mister. The Hudson Man. He's the Hudson Man.
That's not even a song.
I don't care. I'm remixing it. Who do you think he is? I can't believe I said what?
The Hudson
It wasn't
Man
the
is
Hudson
fire.
River. Now I'll explain allegedly because I don't know what you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about.
There you go.
Allegedly, when that incident happened and that man was detained, there was a gun in the sewer by the Hudson River.
Yes.
And they pulled that gun out of the sewer. Thank God there was no fingerprints or anything on that gun to lead that gun to anybody, but that's what you're talking about.
I am. So people think you're sweet and they try to rob you.
I am sweet. I don't want to be
The
robbed.
Hudson Man. That's your new name. It went down. The Hudson Man. He's Hudson.
This guy really did his homework. I'm impressed.
Nah, that's funny. That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm just saying. But that's not the only, real quick, they also robbed your home before.
Right. So the carjacking thing you're talking about was, I was leaving a club that I actually bought, but I was leaving a club.
Mm-hmm.
And I have security. But what security used to do was they would put me in my car and then follow me on the highway. And then once I got on the highway, they would veer off to where they lived, and I would head to the city. This night, they veered off. Car comes up behind me, puts a police light on top of the car. When they put a police light on top of the car, I'm in my Rolls Royce Wraith, my blue Rolls Royce Wraith. I see it and it looks, I'm gonna tell you why I said that, but it looked kind of crazy, it looked kind of odd. And the reason it looked odd is because it looked more like a firefighter light than a police light, right? Police light is blue and red in New York and New Jersey. Firelight is only blue, so it's only blue. So they behind me, like trying to get me to pull over. So I'm like, this don't feel right. So I pull over a little bit just to slow up. And right when I'm pulling over, they run into the back of me. When they run into the back of me, I take off. They take off. So now they're chasing me down the highway. So now I'm thinking to myself, and this is just the way I am, and I have to, and I tell my kids, and I tell myself I can't think like this anymore. When somebody's after me, I want to know why. If it's a random, I take it all day. But now when I feel like somebody set me up, I will not sleep if I don't know why. So what I did was I said, all right, they chased me. And I said, I'm going to go through Easy Pass. The reason I'm going to go through Easy Pass is if I go through Easy Pass and I pull the Easy Pass down and I slow down, Easy Pass takes a picture. That's what happened. Easy Pass took a picture. So we went through Easy Pass. So when we go through Easy Pass, I stop on the highway. They come in front of me because they break. Now they hop out the car. I put the car in reverse. Now I'm backing up on the highway like the Biggie video. They're running, shooting at my car. I realized a couple things that day. That cars only go 30 miles per hour backwards. I didn't know that. I never tried until that day. Only go 30 miles an hour. Two, the Rolls Royce Wraith tires, it can take up to like a certain amount of pressure because one of the bullets hit the tire and the tire didn't flatten. So they hit the car 4 times. I drove down the highway backward. They took off. They caught the kids. They did 7 years. They caught them because the picture of the Easy Pass was able to get the plate of the car. And these kids were carjacking people with their mom's car. So it took the plate, got the picture, and they were arrested. The reason I talk about what it was in Rolls-Royce Wraith is because if I would have been driving any car, they would have shot out that tire and would have caught me that night. But because I was in that car, they weren't able to catch me.
Do you forgive them?
No. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. Even the dudes, that somebody tried to rob my house and this, that, and the other. A lot of those are 17-year-old kids, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds that know no better, right? Because we are a product of our environments. Let's say he's the big homie right there, and he sends a 17-year-old to go steal a car. You're going to get that kid $3,000. For a 17-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid from the hood, $3,000 is everything. They looking at it like, oh, I'm just going to take that car. Or I'm just going to take that jewelry. Nobody in there. I get it and I understand. But now him being a grown man, I don't respect him. But those kids, I get it because we were all young and dumb and did some stupid shit that we regret. That's why I continue to try to teach these kids differently and be like, you don't want to go to jail. I'd rather you do something like, my biggest thing is teaching these kids how to flip houses, have tenants. The same money you make on the street, buy a house, rent it out. You never got to do nothing shiesty again. You get your money the 1st to the 5th every month. But that's my reasoning of doing it. So do I forgive those kids? Absolutely. They're young kids. They're young, dumb. We all did young, dumb, stupid shit.
That's why you don't send them some money.
I don't know them.
You know them. They went to jail because they tried to rob you.
I don't know who they are. They got caught. I didn't have to testify. They got caught. They used their mom's car. They didn't have to.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask me.
I will. You are a man. You double dutch a lot. Let me tell you what I mean.
Go.
You in some street shit, then you let the police do their job. You in some street shit, then you let the... I got a headache. I'm dizzy. If you're going to... Teaching is good. Heard some street shit about you. But then...
I'm good.
But then... Somebody gets locked up for messing with you.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that called? Is that a cheat code?
No.
Up down ABBA start?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. I'm not a street dude. I've never sold no drugs. I never sold crack. I never shot a nigga that didn't deserve it. I never shot at anybody that didn't deserve it. Allegedly. But I will say this. At the end of the day, my whole goal is to make it home to my kids.
Say no more.
So if you say you're a street dude, I ain't no street dude. No, I'm not at all. I'm a dude, yes. When I used to carry a gun, it wasn't because I was a street dude. I wasn't showing off my gun and this, that, and the other. No, I want to make it home to my family.
Respect.
And you can't knock a nigga for that.
You're right, E.
So when somebody says, oh, you want to play street dude? No, I'm never a street dude. Nowhere near it. I've never claimed to be. Do I know street dudes? All day. Am I a street dude? No. If you got something illegal in my car, yo, get the fuck out. I got 6 kids. I need to get back home.
You'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
There you go. Perfect example.
How do you meet my cousin Webb?
Ain't your cousin. He said that ain't your cousin.
Who said that?
He said that.
He never told you that.
Call him now.
I can't.
You ain't got his number.
I do have his number. Are you crazy?
Webb is, we all from Queens. I love Webb. And I think Webb, if you don't know who Webb is, how do you talk about who Webb is on here? I'm just curious how you mention it.
I say I'm from the Webb and Nitty era.
Webb is a retired street dude. I'll say that.
Let's put respect. Let's be cautious.
What?
Let's just be careful.
That's what I said. Retired street dude.
Okay.
That is my brother. And when I say my brother, I think he respected the fact that I grinded and I worked hard and I didn't ask anybody for nothing. If you don't know Webb was the one that found Joe Button and signed Joe Button. Webb was the one that helped stack bundles and Clue and Fab and Skane and Desert Storm. He was that guy. He was. I don't even want to say the muscle because it was love. Muscle is you have to pay. Webb never asked $1 from anybody. And so when I ever got into a prop,
he showed Nikki a lot of love.
Yeah, he showed Nikki a lot of love too.
When she was Nicki Minaj.
Yep.
Yeah, when you got into a problem, sorry.
And Webb was one of the dudes that just wanted to see me win. I never had to call Webb for nothing, but if he heard something, he would call somebody immediately and say, yo, if you fuck with that little light-skinned nigga, you're gonna have a problem with me. And because of that, me, Clue, and a host of others were always clear in New York. We never had a problem in New York. Never had a problem in New York.
You shot him out when he got that That new Benz.
I shot Web out all the time. I seen him when he just got home, like 6 months ago when he just did that.
I know you went down there.
I went down there to see him.
Yeah, I got the call.
Down there to see him.
Yeah, I know. Nitty is different. We can never see him.
I see Nitty too.
You ain't see
Nitty was there. Nitty was actually there.
I heard he was there. I was mad about that.
Nitty was there.
I told him I didn't like that because it's hard for me to see him, but you saw him easy.
Yeah, Nitty was there, man. I love those brothers. Those brothers are good brothers.
They're good brothers, yeah. Webb influenced me because, being careful, just the lifestyle that was around that environment. He encouraged me to be your own boss. Mm-hmm. He didn't want me to be around certain type of things, even when I tried. And that says something to me. Like when you become successful in your category or whatever I'm doing, it means something to the people that believe in you or that encourage you to do it.
Yeah, Webb didn't give a
and he was one of them.
I seen Webb jump in a police car one day.
Do what?
Jumped in a police car.
Do what?
We was on a corner doing something, and the police were fucking with us. And police officer was like, "I'll take you to jail." And Webb was like, "What?" Dove in the police car. "Take me now! Take me now! I'm hungry. I want to eat there now." The cop was like, "Whoa, get out! No, you threatening me? Taking me? I'll go to jail. Let's go." I was like, "Whoa, Webb is crazy." Yeah. So the police actually had to take him out the police car because he was like, they're about to serve lunch. Like that's how crazy Webb was.
Yeah, Webb.
And I love him to this day for that.
Shout out to Webb. Let's move forward a little bit. You said something about DJs.
Yes, sir.
How you love the DJs and all that stuff.
I do, man. I love my DJs.
But didn't you make fun of a legendary DJ on your show that caused a domino effect? Yes.
You talking about Mister Cee?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I mean, we that was Charlamagne gave him Donkey today, and yes, he was the
Do you
topic.
think that was nice?
The topic of a lot of conversations, but Mister Cee is somebody that he got those jokes, just like I get those jokes when I do something stupid, just like other people do those jokes when he do something stupid. Nobody talked about Cee or what he liked or what he didn't like. It was the fact that it was topical. He got caught. We made fun of it, just like stupid shit that I do. People make fun of. I can't be mad at that.
Isn't that hypocritical? You gave a speech about being a DJ and shout out to Charlamagne, one of the greats. What he do for the culture, podcasts and everything.
Yep.
But still, at the same time, you sat there and chose a coworker over your principal, which is protecting and helping. You are a hypocrite, sir.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
It's like, look, be honest, right?
Keep it real.
Yeah, I want to take it out of Mister Cee. Pause.
What you mean you want to take? See, that's what I'm saying. Take it out.
Oh no, because the reason I'm saying is let's say I got caught with a transgender. Let's just say, right?
See, why you got to give that example?
Because I'm gonna be honest.
This is what I'm talking about. These minute 105.1 shots.
Me and Mister Cee is cool, so we can take it out of that. And I'm not saying that to bring it up with him. Let's say I got
caught cheating.
Caught with a gay man.
Let's say that, right? Let's say I got caught with a gay man, right? Whatever it may be. Let's say you see me pants down with a gay man.
Hey, yo,
right? Look at you laughing right now. You're going to make fun of me. And it's deserved.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No,
everybody is.
I consider you a friend.
But that's how it is. Like,
oh, see? That's picking and choosing.
It's not. Look, all right, Clue got into an incident, right? We made fun of Clue. I knew it wasn't true, but we made fun of him still. And he was mad.
On the air?
Yeah, he was mad. And I get it. I understand why he was mad. But he got those jokes, just like I get those jokes. Now,
and you had to apologize to him.
I apologized to Clue. I apologized to Mister Cee.
You did?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's real. You did? You I did. You got on the phone?
I called him.
You sure?
I called him. Absolutely. Ask him.
I will.
Ask him.
I will.
Ask him. Me and Mister Cee got something big. Hopefully that it happens with 50, but I'm sure when the time is right, he'll talk about it.
Why you be hating on me and 50?
What?
You heard what I said? I've been telling you for a while. I said you're not gonna speak to 50. You know, you actually when I first came around, you said you go with 50. Like you try to press me about 50. I told you.
I asked if you go with 5 because 5 is my guy. So
yeah. And I said I am.
Sick. So why am I hating on you in 50?
Just making sure.
Nah, you in 5th good in my book.
Well, yeah, you asked me. I just didn't like that way you pressed me that time at your crib. Like I felt like claustrophobic.
Look, 50 is certain people that if they got problems with my people, I want to know why. Because if I can fix it, I try to fix it. If I can't, I can't. 50 is a guy that if I call 50 right now and say, yo, 50, I got an idea for a show. I want to skydive off of 42nd Street. And 50 gonna be like, all right, I'll fund it. He's that type of individual. Or he gonna be like, Envy, you bugging, you stupid. He's that individual. Any beef that you ever heard on radio and 50 felt like it went too left, 50 called the artist and be like, Envy's my guy, just so you know. He's that type of individual and never ever told me that he called anybody. He's that type of guy. So because of that, when it comes to 5th, that's my brother. I don't play games with him.
Why you had his car for so long?
50 got 9 cars and does not give a fuck about any of those cars. I had his Lambo in my house. You've seen it in fucking a year and a half.
Why you brought that up?
And only has 800 miles on it. Because he gave it to he let me hold it for the car show. So I just hold his cars for the car show. I actually brought it back when I brought it to Houston. I dropped it off at his Houston crib and I just took another car.
We're gonna get into 50 in a little bit. I want G to ask this. G got a question for you. But let's go down memory lane.
Okay, let's go down memory lane.
You got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you make fun of my friend Envy like that.
Yo! G! Yeah. Scratch your chin.
I didn't get caught. I told him myself, but go ahead.
See, come on. Yeah,
And I want to say I'm very impressed with your equipment because usually when people have podcast equipment, every 30 minutes they got to restart the cameras, and here you have it. So I'm really impressed, but go ahead.
You know.
What's so funny?
You told on yourself.
I did.
Tell me why. Bring me down. Let me close my eyes. Bring me down there.
My wife said she heard something that she really didn't hear. She just had a feeling. And she approached me and I told her myself.
Confess. Let me say, shout out to Miss Gia, man. Wonderful, wonderful person.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. I was running around with my shirt off looking crazy. The woman is a nice woman. Class act.
Class act. So
and I have a lot of respect for her. Mm-hmm. We did a skit and the thing in the house in the bathroom. It's like a little mirror. Yeah, the bathroom I got electrocuted in because he let me get electrocuted in his bathroom. The water was was shocking, and we was arguing about it. And she reminded me of my wife because she's like that. But the thing wasn't closed and it was open at the bottom. It's like a glass that's covering like a heater area or something like that. But it's a cover, but a mirror in front of it. So she's telling him, man, don't you know video like that? Or, you got to fix that. How does that look? And my man pulled it, he had his little suit on. He pulled it up. And he went, and just the connection and the understanding between them two, was dope. And she was down with the video and stuff like that. I got a lot of respect, man. Shout out to Miss Gia. But at the same time, man, you got caught. But you told on yourself.
Yeah.
You violated.
I did.
Real life, real love.
Mm-hmm.
And then let you tell it. When you got exposed, you stopped cheating a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that part? That confuses me a little bit.
All right. Well,
water, please?
Well, one thing I would say is, why you want to drink my water? I got my water right there for you, but we'll talk about that later. One thing I would say is in this industry, you got to realize that people look for your downfall to use against you. I stopped playing, and I stopped playing because one, I didn't want to. Became a man, no longer a boy where I thought I had to do something. No longer had the insecurities, and I was good. We were expecting another child. My wife was pregnant. And then I think it was Flex. I think Flex might have did an interview and brought it out to the light. And anybody will ever tell you, if you get into a situation in your crib and it's in your crib, it's handled differently. Because now it's me and you, right? Or no matter what it is. But now if it's handled publicly, it's different. Because now she's going to say something, she going to leave a comment, he going to leave a comment, he going to leave a comment, and now it's something that keeps going on. Made the situation 10 times worse. But it was actually good. And the reason that it was so good was because it really gave myself and me and my wife a chance to talk and to talk about everything from the beginning of our relationship. A lot of times we're together with somebody so long, and there's certain things that you don't talk about. You don't talk about insecurities. You don't talk about things that bother. You don't talk about what certain meanings of things mean, right? I always used to say I love my wife, but I couldn't love my wife because I didn't know what the word love actually meant. Because if I loved her, I wouldn't have cheated on her. If I loved her, I wouldn't lie to her. If I loved her, I wouldn't be deceiving. So my bitch ass didn't know any of those things. I'm following the industry. I'm following what I see in videos. I'm following what I see in the club. I think that shit is cool. I thought that shit was dope. Chicks in my section and me, I thought that shit was cool. That's what I was raised on, right? That's what I seen in the videos. That's what my boys did. That's what my cousins did. That's what that. But then you realize it's not. And for me, I almost lost the best thing that was ever there for me. That's not there for the money. That doesn't give a if I'm broke or not. That every night's gonna rub my back and encourage me to do better, encourage me to work harder. All because of that. It's one of those things that it helped, but it did help my relationship. It made my relationship a lot stronger and a lot better.
Why did you cheat, E?
Many different reasons.
But nobody asked you that before?
Absolutely. And I answered in the book, but
I know. Don't.
I answered in the book. Well, that's
Don't plug your book
but
like that. Let me plug it myself.
But I'll be honest, but that's why I wrote the book. So I don't have to answer that question no more. Because it's the thing that everybody likes to talk about. Why? And like when I say because you could, people don't understand why. Because I was insecure, because I felt the way, people don't understand that. When I say I could, when you a nigga from Queens that came up from Queens and had glasses, braces, and looked nerdy and never had a chick in your life, and then all of a sudden you go to the club and all the girls that you see in videos are coming at you, it's different. You know what I mean? When you're in a relationship and things feel funny in your relationship because, you know, we talk about it in the book where my wife couldn't have an orgasm from me sexually for a long time. So when it came to it, when she told me, I was fucked up. Because here, you know, I'm in my wife at that time, 10 years, I'm thinking I'm pleasing her and I'm not. That shit fucks with you. That's not an excuse, but these are the reasons that led up to it.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So people ask, well, why did you talk about it in the book? Because I don't care. I mean, me and my wife, we fixed that 10 years ago. But I did it because if I tell you how many women hit me and say, yo, I'm glad you talk about it because my husband thinks he's putting it down and I have an orgasm. How many dudes hit me and be like, yo, bro, how do you make your wife orgasm now? Now, I'm not having a class where I'm teaching niggas how to do it, but it opens up the conversation. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever faked an orgasm? Yes. How many times? It's complicated. You see what I'm saying?
But why were you asking that question?
But I'm going to be honest.
Because she's boundaries.
She's the woman in the room, but I'm going to tell you why. I didn't ask who. I didn't ask her to get in death. But the reason I'm saying that is because she's done it before. And I'm sure she's probably dated a guy that thought that he was putting it in. And she probably was like, oh my gosh, this nigga again. But hopefully, she said years ago, but hopefully this opens up conversations to, at that time, this would have opened up a conversation to be like, yo, this is what Envy's relationship was about. Let's have this conversation. And maybe it could have fixed their relationship. It could have fixed their problems. Mad women fake. Like, I would say 70-80% of women fake. But we don't talk about it because we think we mandingo. We think we putting it down. So all the dudes that made fun of me and laugh, I probably guarantee that their wife has faked it a couple of times on them. Honestly. But opening the book was a reason that we did it so we can start those conversations and help people in their marriage. Looking at this guy likes to have awkward stares.
I know. Yo, so the whole cheating scandal, right? Gia's best friend kind of helped afterwards, along with everything you did. You apologized on the air publicly, but I saw online that Gia's friend helped, and Tyrese also helped out.
Yep.
When you want to tell that story?
Yeah. So when it happened, I was fucked up, right? At the time, I was doing MTV2. I lost my MTV2 job. I just couldn't go to work. I wasn't focused. I lost my Sirius radio job. Couldn't focus. And Power, the Breakfast Club at the time, I couldn't do my show. Like, I was sleeping. I wasn't doing breaks. I was taking days off. Because at that time, nothing mattered. So when I apologized on air, Tyrese was in town. Tyrese heard me apologize. I didn't know Tyrese. And he was like, yo, I heard your story. And he said, God sent me to help. Wow. And from there, got to read the book. He came and
right.
He really put his arm around us and helped us out.
So you didn't know you and Tyrese haven't met yet. I know you've been around industry. You didn't meet
Nah,
Tyrese
we probably
yet?
said what's up and probably, he probably been to the Breakfast Club maybe before, but we didn't know each other. I didn't have his number. We never spoke, had a long conversation or nothing like that.
So he wanted to sit down over there and he stood there for that. Like, you can wave your hand. You okay? Damn, man. I just read the message. I have to tell G something. You understand that, right? With Shred.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, you want to go now?
You ain't sure? You good? You sure?
Have a seat. Come on, Baz.
Okay, all right. You have a time? Okay. I just said, you are a nice guy.
Thank you.
But you do get into a lot of trouble because of others.
Sometimes.
I was listening to shout out to Math Hoffa. Great podcast got going on. Shout out to Math, putting in the work. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? Onyx was up there and said you guys took down the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I really don't know. It wasn't Onyx. It was when Sticky and Fredro came up. That's the only time they ever been up there.
Is that not Onyx?
Oh, Onyx. Onyx is 3 members.
I thought it was 4.
Well, 4 members. Yeah, actually 4 members. Yeah, but when Sticky and Fredro came up there, I think they did an interview. I don't even know if it was pulled down. I didn't pull it down. I don't think Charlamagne pulled that one down.
I think on Math's show, if I'm not mistaken, in the title, it said the Breakfast Club took down our interviews.
Really? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. There was no reason for me to take it down. I didn't have no problem with Sticky or Fredro, and I think Charlamagne. I mean that clip went viral, so I don't really think we took a picture after, so it wasn't no problems, no beef. So I don't know why it was taken down. Maybe that's a Charlamagne call. Maybe he wanted it down, but we usually have a conversation when anything gets taken down. But that wasn't. And actually, Onyx was gonna come up before they did the last verses with Cypress Hill. They were gonna come up, but we went on vacation. So I don't know. There's no problem. Like they're queens, so I respect Fredro and Sticky all day long.
Well, give me a second.
This guy is actually doing research while the interview is going on.
He does it sometimes.
Gotta love this podcast.
Hold on. Just seeing something. Okay. I didn't see what I wanted to see. I thought, okay.
Is he there?
Second. Hold on. Take your time. Just want to double check something. 105. Okay.
Is it there?
No, I can't find it right now.
Oh. If you type in Onyx Breakfast Club, see if it pops up. That's the best way to do it.
No, it's not up there.
No, I see it on World Star, but no, I don't see it either.
Oh.
Yeah, nah, but I didn't take it down.
Yeah.
I got no reason to. I don't have no problems with them.
What videos did you take down? Let's talk about it.
Because
we know
The only interviews that we would ever take down, and I think it might have been 2, and I'm not going to say no names, and people could do the research. If we feel like people are being a false prophet, meaning that they're doing something that we don't necessarily agree with, we'll take it down.
Why you can't say the names?
Because I don't like being sued.
You can be sued for this?
Yeah, you can be sued for anything.
For saying the name of a video you took down?
I didn't take anything down, but videos that were taken down, I know 2 of them, that was probably for people being a false prophet, meaning you come on our show and you say you can do something and you can't do. We never want to leave somebody up where somebody can watch and feel like we are actually telling people or solidifying that person where people actually go to them. So for instance, if I say that you're a healer and you say you can heal cancer, and I put you on the show and people believe that because you're on our show, we would never want to leave that on there to give people the wrong understanding. That's with anybody.
And you can't say no names? What's the second interview you took down?
The second interview was Choke No Joke. And him and Charlamagne got a long standing beef. I mean, I feel he's a lame and a sucker, but outside of that, him and Charlamagne have
here we go.
a long-standing beef. I mean, that's their stuff. I just don't like the stuff that he does. I think he does a lot of sucker shit.
I heard allegedly that you grabbed him at Tyrese house.
You heard that allegedly?
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. You know what I mean? Because like people like to toot their own horns, but I heard something like that. I heard that you tried to grab him, tried to assault him. You were extremely aggressive. Can you tell me why would you do something like that as a man of God, as a man of honor, and as a family man? That man did not cross any lines. As far as disrespecting your family, why would you put your hands on him?
Allegedly.
I was at Tyrese's house. SNS was DJing. It was dope packed, man. It was a dope party. Everybody was chilling. Tyrese was up in the balcony smoking hookah. That was a dope party. You remember Coke?
No, I remember Choke No Joke though.
You remember Coke my rapper?
I remember him.
Coke was there with me. Coke was there with me. It was dope. I think I did see him that day, and I think we had an aggressive conversation. Yeah.
What did he say to trigger an aggressive conversation from you?
I just don't like when people do sucker shit sometimes, and when they do sucker shit, I just like to have a conversation. I'm the type of person that don't back away from a conversation or anything. If I feel a way, I'm gonna tell you. And it is what it is from there. And that's for everything. That's if you see it on the Breakfast Club, whether it was a conversation with me and DJ Drama, or a conversation with Jesus and Mero, or a conversation with Dame Dash. If it's something that I don't like, we need to have a conversation about it. And after the conversation is a conversation. And we just happened to see him in person and we had a conversation.
Did he apologize in person?
Yes.
How long did it take for him to backtrack?
Everybody backtracks, right?
Did he try to sue you?
No, he ain't trying to sue me.
Did you physically touch him?
No. What are you, a police officer?
I just want to make sure, man. Shout out to Pop. Man,
Officer
you
Flip.
My shirt, this tight shirt my son got me, man.
Officer Flip. No, we just had an aggressive conversation. That's all.
And what was your reason for the aggressiveness?
I just didn't like when people make up fake narratives and fake.
What was the fake narrative?
Something about me and my wife and cheating or something like that down the line.
Your wife's name. So it was about Ms. Gia. Okay, yep. I got it. I got it. Okay.
You mentioned Coke just now. What's up with Coke and Keys?
Coke doing good, man. Coke, I see Coke probably once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
You don't know, Coke was a rapper that I used to have that used to write lyrics for people, and he was signed to Def Jam at one time. Really dope rapper. Real close to Web, of course. Of course.
What about Keys?
News?
I mean,
News. I haven't spoken to News in a while. I spoke to News like 2 years ago. News is doing good, though.
That's what's up.
I was trying to get News to get some real estate.
Thank you, Chief, but I'm not done with my question.
All right, cool. I just wanted to.
My thing is that I feel like it's abuse of power.
What do you mean?
I'm not talking about 105.1.
What's abuse of power?
Choke No Joke said some things. You guys took down this interview. I heard that you guys took out a certain clip out of the interview.
Oh, you want to? Oh, so you want the complete story? All right, I'll tell you the complete story. We interviewed Choke No Joke on the Breakfast Club. Why? I don't know. That was Charlamagne's guy. And if you don't know anything about the Breakfast Club, what we usually do is to interview somebody you have to get it approved from 2 out of the 3 hosts. So, but nobody ever says no. So if I want to interview somebody and it means a lot to somebody, we all do it, right? Since Angela Yee and Charlamagne don't want to interview Queen's Flip, we'll never do that. Nah, but really, we interviewed Choke No Joke. And this is at the time when he was doing the whole Tunnel documentary. So, you know, if you know Choke, he carries his camera and he tapes himself interviewing all the time. Like I said, Choke is not my guy. I don't have his number. I don't know anything about him. At the time, he was Charlamagne's guy. I guess him and they're cool from the Wendy Williams days. So after the interview, I guess he said some stuff about Jay-Z. Charlamagne, trying to be his friend, called him and was like, yo, I really think we should take this whole stuff out. You're trying to sell the Tunnel documentary. You're going to have to get a clearance from Jay-Z. You're going to have to get a clearance from all these Rockefeller artists. Why would you talk about them in the interview? I think it would be smart to take it out. He said they agreed. Took it out. Cool. We aired the interview, and I guess Choke went on his rant. Oh, fuck the Breakfast Club. Fuck them. Fuck this, that, and the other. I'm going to play my own full interview. They had a conversation. They spoke about it. They agreed on it. And now it's fuck that, fuck this, fuck them. So I think probably Charlamagne said fuck him and pulled it down. It is what it is. But that's what a friend does. Like if you say some foul shit, or if I said some foul shit, I would hope that you would call me and be like, yo, E, you said some things that could get you in trouble. Let's take that out. That's what a friend does. That's what somebody who cares does. Now I could be like, nah, I ain't taking it out. I'll be like, yeah, I'll take it out. That's what friends do. People who care about certain people. We do it all the time in the Breakfast Club. Somebody will say something and be like, yo, I don't think you should say that. I think you should take that out. Why? Because we don't want to see anybody get hung. We don't want to see anybody get canceled. We don't want to see anybody get in trouble. Sometimes people say things that don't necessarily understand or know. That's what that was.
What happened what was the outcome after the Birdman situation years ago?
Nothing. Crazy. I mean, I knew Birdman a long time ago. Remember, I used to DJ for Fabulous and we were all on tour, so I knew Bird a long time. I knew Birdman when me and Birdman were going back and forth about whose cars were better. That's before he had 13,000 cars. Like he had 1 or 2 cars. So Birdman was cool. That venom wasn't based. That wasn't going at me and Angela Yee. That was more going at Charlamagne, and we just kind of were innocent bystanders. I spoke to him after. He apologized. He told me, but I mean, I love Bird. I love what Bird did for the culture. I learned the artists that he signed. I love the business. Birdman's a good dude. I love Birdman. Birdman did my album, so like Bird is a good dude.
Which album?
Block Party. Gave Bird $30,000 for that.
This song?
Yep. Hey, that one.
Good timing.
The Block Party.
That was good timing.
Yes, sir.
Come on,
that was good timing.
G, chill.
Yes, sir.
Yo, look at the young envy though.
Stop.
That's right.
G, that's corny.
That's corny.
That's showing too much love. Come on, G, please. Enough, man. I'm your friend. It's me, man. Then you gonna talk about this mentor stuff.
I mean, hey, man.
There you go.
She move that.
That's history right there. That's
this
classic.
Work hard, man.
Look
at young. That's corny.
It's clean. You know, it's clean, G. That's fire right
That's
there.
classic
Shout out to
right
G
there.
Money.
Thank you, G Money. I love it.
How old were you here?
I maybe like 21.
That's crazy.
Like 21 probably.
We have to have understanding. I do appreciate what you out here doing for society and what you're trying to do, but we ain't gonna let you out free. Sorry. Oh, you look comfortable, but the Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
Do you value? Shout out to the Breakfast Club. You know, #1 show. I like it a lot. But do you value friendships? Meaning, is it entertainment? Anybody can get it? Because that's my motto. My motto is content over everything, COE. What's the motto of the Breakfast Club? Because, you know, Flex got mad because of what was said about C. People got mad because of what Charlamagne say. How do you view things? What school they come from?
The Breakfast Club is content over everything, but also we try to do it in a way where we don't hurt. Right? When the Breakfast Club started and we were doing it, there were times where we hurt people. Right? And that's not what we wanted to do. So if you look at the show's evolved a lot. A lot of shit that we did, we won't do anymore. Because at one time it was fun, and now we realize we have a responsibility of not just being fun and entertaining, but also teaching. You know what I mean? So we've changed a lot. So now, yeah, we'll make fun of you, but it's also going to be a teaching lesson, a learning lesson. We're not going to try to hurt you. We gonna have them jokes, just like when you at the crib or you at the barbershop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you get it all the time. You get those jokes. Even to this day, when I'm out, somebody be like, yo, where Queen's Flip at? Here in the crib? I get that all the time. Yo, where's Charlamagne? Y'all ain't humping somewhere? I get that all the time. But it's jokes. I don't take it serious. But now if somebody says, yo, I heard Queen's Flip was in the back, fucking G Money, and we about to release the tape. Like, come on. Like, certain shit is not funny.
Pause, but yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, we gonna entertain you, but we're not trying to hurt you.
Did you get mad at Charlamagne when he shouted out Star and he said he read his book?
No, that's it. That's it. Him as a person.
Okay, just make sure.
That's him as a person.
He threw a lot of shots at me today about Mentor. I ain't like that, but I know Charlamagne said he read The Objective Hate.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, that's him. That's.
To watch your times on the Breakfast Club, did anything ever happen that you felt like you didn't want to do the show anymore?
Probably early on. But nah. And the thing that happened early on was I was too sensitive when it came to certain things, right? And this is me just leaving DJ in the streets and how I felt. So when certain jokes came across, I didn't like it because I felt like, well, these niggas trying to play me.
Right.
But then I realized it's all in fun. Like, who gives a fuck what a nigga from the street thinks about me? Like, who gives a fuck what this person thinks about me? As long as my wife loves me, respect me, my family loves me and respect me, I don't give a fuck about none of that. But that was the only time when I was really pissed off. But other than that, nah.
What
Good.
about working with Charlamagne, though? I know, like, a lot of people in our comments watching our show, they kind of compare what at the beginning they used to say I was the Brook man's DJ Envy, right? And he was like the Charlamagne. So like working with Flip sometimes could be a little crazy because some of the antics he might pull. Like our first couple shows, we had people throwing Henny on him and swinging on him and stuff like that. So Charlamagne, not saying he's like Flip, but Charlamagne kind of could get a little crazy too on the shows. Like, so how do you feel working with Charlamagne and sometimes him getting a little spicy on air, things like that?
Nah, I mean Charlamagne is Charlamagne. I mean, I don't mind. He does what he wants to do, and every piece of the Breakfast Club brings an element that people want to see, right? In my opinion, you know what I mean. I think when one member's not there, you feel it, and I think all three members we bring a different aspect. Yeah, I got into all types of beef and problems and arguments and screaming and yelling because of Charlamagne. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. Just like if I come up to you and be like, "Yo, Queen's Flip is a sucker." If I say I'm gonna slap the shit out of him, what you gonna say?
Don't you talk to my friend like that.
You really like this guy. And that's what's wrong with you. I don't like that.
Nah, I wouldn't take that. Nah, you're my brother, man.
But that's how it is with Charlamagne. You know what I mean? A lot of times, people come at me about him, and I got into a lot of problems with him. But it is what it is. But what I realize is when you stand up to people and you stand straight, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Let me ask you a question.
People respect it.
Let's go there. Do you know Wendy's husband?
Kevin? Yeah, of course.
You know him? You guys have a great rapport? Oh shit! You guys have a great rapport. You saw that? You got scared?
Nah, that didn't scare me. I didn't jump. Did you jump?
Nah. It shot me. I put that up today, and look, I gotta put.
Did a bad job, but anyway.
I did. Did you guys have a good rapport?
We were cool, but when you say good rapport, do we speak all the time? Like it's like he's like industry friends. You see when you see him, hey, what's up? How's everything? How you doing? All right, peace. That's all it was.
Okay, I just feel like Charlamagne.
But Charlamagne was different. Like they took Charlamagne from South Carolina and put him on radio in New York. They have a different relationship.
Got it. Okay, now I understand the code because I hear a lot of things and I don't understand it because Charlamagne is doing so much, and I want to pay my respects to him. He does a lot.
Yeah.
Bringing the community together and the stuff that he talks about. And I think that sometimes the character overshadows the work. And it's like a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. People we are attracted to and we highlight negativity.
Yeah, I mean that's with anything, but I think
man, don't interrupt me. Let me give my man.
he's done the work,
let me give my man his flowers.
Mm-hmm.
You hater.
No, I said I think Charlamagne has done the work. I mean, you talk about the negative, but it's just.
I'm about to go positive.
Oh, I mean, you talk about negative. I mean, I'm just telling
I'm
you.
about to give him positive.
My guy's done the work.
Yeah, he does. But that's what I was saying.
You taking too long to get there. Go ahead.
So he's out here, and I feel like, we just got to give him the respect that he deserves.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because, regardless of what, he talks about mental health. He talks about helping up and coming people. Even in the podcast, he has his own network, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he does a lot for the culture.
Correct.
And have difficult conversations that people don't want to have. And that needs to be highlighted.
Correct.
I guess the character will reel us in, but once we're in, we're able to understand the mind of Charlamagne because he opens it up, pause, and he wants to, let us know that in our community, in that 4-block radius, there's so much more outside in the world than that 4-block radius.
Absolutely.
A lot of us as black people or as people, we don't want to admit certain things, mental health issues, PTSD, or trauma. We don't want to face that. We used to laugh at things like that. And hearing you guys talk make people feel like it's okay to acknowledge that and look within. That's what I wanted to say.
Absolutely.
But we're not done, though. We still got more questions. I just wanted to say that.
All good.
More questions? All right. I wanted to ask, what's the day today with DJ Envy? Like, what goes on? For those who hear, earlier on the show, you heard about the grind and how you do so much stuff. But like, give us like a day to day. You're a family man, radio host. Like, how does a day look like for you?
Yeah. So 4:30 in the morning, I get up, shower, kiss my kids, pray with the wife, get in the car. I gotta pick what car I'ma drive. That's a tough decision, Flip. But anyway, pick what car I'ma drive. Then I drive to the city. Then we do the Breakfast Club from 6 to 10. Then we usually have interviews after the Breakfast Club because none of the interviews are live, so we do it after. So that's usually to 11 to 12. And when I leave there at 12, I go to my office. I got an office in New Jersey. And in my office, we're usually planning either real estate, my real estate seminars. I'm going over my properties or my car shows. And I'm usually there till about 5 o'clock. And then 5 o'clock, I usually leave there, go take the kids to whether it's baseball, swimming, piano, acrobats, whatever they have. I take them to there. And then usually get home, watch TV with the wife till I fall asleep and do it all again. Weekends is traveling from city to city. That's pretty much it. That's my life.
You got 2 big houses.
I got more than two big houses.
You told me something that stuck with me, and I want to tell you this because I don't really give you credit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You told me that you would never want to go broke again. You were afraid of going broke.
That is my fear.
That's something that stuck with me. You also told me that when you leave this earth, you want to leave your kids 2 homes each.
Correct.
Those stuff stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Motivated me in a way.
That's why I talk about it all the time.
Well, let me get that. Oh, my God. Please. I don't need ad-libs, nigga. I don't need ad-libs. Let me give you your credit. Damn. Every time, G. Every time. It meant something to me. It motivated me in a way, bro.
I'm glad. That's why I do it. That's why I talk about it so much. Okay. Some people say I'm flossing, but I do it because I want to see your kids good. I want to hopefully you see the what I'm doing and be like, I want to be on that same journey. That's why I do it. People are, you're flossing. You got no. That's what a simple-minded person sees. Somebody who doesn't have an ego sees it as, damn, if he did it, I could do it. This nigga's a nigga from Queens, Murdoch and Springfield. He came from there, and this is what he has. That's why I try to encourage people. Simple-minded people, oh, you flossy, you get the fuck you. It's not for you. Don't follow me. Don't worry about it. But for a nigga that look like me, I want them to think the same way. You'll get those Jordans. You'll get that Christian Dior sneakers, shirt, and them Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones or the belts and this, that. You'll get that later. But make sure your kids is good. My fear is when something happens to me, I don't want to go for me. I want to make sure my kids is good. If something happened to somebody in my family, I don't want to go for me. I want to make sure they good. Like, think about all these people that you seen GoFundMe for. You'll see they've been in the club before popping bottles. You'll see they drive dope cars. It means nothing when you're dead. It means nothing. Your kids get nothing. I want something for my kids, something for my family, and I want the same for everybody else. I just don't want to live around white folks. I want my nigga to be my neighbor. You know what I mean? I want my homie, my homegirl to be a neighbor. Like, that's what I want. White people shouldn't be the only one that lives in a great school district where their kids learn about economics and learn about accounting and taxes and learn about investing. We didn't learn that. My kids are learning that. It's a different area. But I want to change all that.
But that was the illest stuff you told me about pertaining to Jones. You know, you said you was looking, you said I'm not trying to get in Miss Jones' business, but you looked into homes in her area and areas and stuff like that too. Like you told me this privately, like, yo, I gotta make sure Miss Jones is good. One of my things to make sure Miss Jones is good. And because she took a hiatus and came back. Wonderful woman. Wonderful, man.
Facts.
Being around her, I learned a lot from her in such a short amount of time. And she say I act like somebody. She sees somebody in me. I don't want to call no names. And she curses me out all the time. It's that reminder of somebody. But I learned a lot from her. And when you said that was dope. That meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you. Solid.
Thank you.
You're a solid dude.
Thank you. And shout out to Jones. I see some big things in Jones. Right? Even with Jones, she wasn't thinking about no podcast. I said, yo, let's do it. I'll promote it. I'll push it. Fuck it. I just want to see her win. And I think she's finally going to get to that place where you going to see her win. So let's cross our fingers.
Shout out to Miss Jones. She definitely, you know what I'm saying?
I heard about the phone call you called asking about the information you got first before we got it. Huh?
What information?
You know that?
What information?
Is it down the block?
It might be.
Is it down the block?
It might be.
Huh?
It might be.
Huh?
It might be.
Nigga, who you think I am? I know everything. I know everything. Yeah. Look how surprised you are, huh?
You don't know shit. You don't know nothing.
The Hudson Man. It's the Hudson Man.
We got a few more questions before we wrap it up, man. We got to ask about this Deuces and Maro situation.
Who?
Deuces. How you say it? Deuces and Maro, right?
It's Deezus, but all right.
Deezus and Maro.
Pardon me. Deezus and Maro.
Deuces. I'm on my shout out to them. They shouted me out before, man. And shout out to Deezus and Maro, man.
Shout out to Deezus and Maro.
Trailblazers.
They try to disrespect the family.
Yeah, they said some stuff I didn't like. They in my opinion, they made it seem like my wife was there for the check.
Right.
And it bothered me because, my wife been with me since I was 15, 16, before there was a check.
Right.
Before I was DJing successfully. Where I used to have to borrow money from her and drive her cars. So I just think that's a smack in the face. And I think a lot of times, especially with a lot of women, when women get into a beef with a guy and a woman decides to stay or there's a problem, the first thing they try to do to belittle the woman is like, oh, she's only there for the check. Or so she's only there for money. And, Queen's Flipper, no, he's been there. Getting things right back in my relationship had nothing to do with the check. For anything that anybody that's smart is, if my wife left me, she gets half. She gets a bigger check. Fuck my check.
It's a fact.
But the important thing was working that relationship out to make sure that we're back in a place that's great. We got 6 kids to raise. And our relationship has never been better because of all the bullshit. So when somebody disrespects that and makes it seem like she's only there for that reason, I had a problem with it.
You feel like they did that for the content, just to try to...
Maybe for the content, maybe they said it was jokes, maybe they felt that way. But, it's like anything else. Like I tell you before, if somebody says something I don't like, I'm going to have a conversation with you about it.
And you did, live on your show.
I did, live on
air. You spoke to
air.
them.
Absolutely.
They apologized.
Yeah.
Did you walk out?
But then, did you... Yeah, you definitely walked out.
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I didn't walk out because of them, because after they apologized and they said they were sorry, it was back to fine. The reason I walked out is because when you have a co-host like Charlamagne that jokes all the time, I just couldn't sit there in that whole conversation after me being serious and then joke about it. So I didn't walk out. I just walked to the other studio and just chill and let them finish the interview. Had nothing to do with anything else. I just couldn't be a part of it because certain things I find funny and certain things that I don't. Charlamagne finds everything funny. I don't find my family talked about funny.
Right.
So I just didn't, just didn't decide.
But they apologized on the air.
Correct.
But then afterwards, their actions were a little different.
That's true. That's true.
It was on the
Math Hoffa show.
Math Hoffa show. Shout out to Math Hoffa. They were on there and
he said he said that they discussed about you performing fellatio from the back.
Yeah, I guess on the show after when they had their show, because I don't think they're together anymore. But when they had their show, he said something like, I was gonna slap the shit out of Envy, and Envy, you could suck my dick from the back. That's what I think he said, something like that. And then I think on Mav Hoppish, I watched it today. He said something to the fact that I said that because it was the most disrespectful thing to show Envy that I wanted to smoke. And that's what he said.
So let me guess. The fire is relit. Yes?
No, there's no fire relit.
Oh, so you cool with him?
No, there's no fire relit. I mean, I didn't see the
Answer
interview.
my question.
I'm gonna tell you. All I seen was that clip, right? But this is how I honestly look at it. If I come to your face right now, Flip, and say, "Fuck you, you're a dickhead and a pussy, and I want smoke," to your face, and you say, "I apologize. It was just jokes. We were wrong. I'm sorry." Right? This footage. It's on the Breakfast Club. Footage. You saying it to my face. You say you apologize. We leave it at there. It's done. Then you leave. The interview airs. Social media gets around. And now you changed. Then when it changes, then you go on a tour, the fuck MV tour, and you shit on me all day long. How do I respect that? Right? Because as a man, growing up, my father says if somebody says something that you don't like, you approach them. You're a man, right? If I have a problem with you, Flip, I come to you. And that's what I did as a man. And we solved it right then and there on air, live on the radio, right? So anything after that, what is that?
Obsolete. But
how do you look at somebody now after that?
But let's
answer my question. How do you look at somebody after that?
I can't
answer the question, Queens Flip. You answer everything fucking else. I disrespect you. Disrespect me. I say I apologize. We face to face, right? Face to face.
Yes.
I leave, and for the next year, you go at me and say, "Suck my dick from the back." How do you look at me? Be honest.
I look at you like a cornball.
You said it. There's nothing else to say because I know why you do it now. You do it for this. You don't do it because you're a real person. You do it for likes. You do it for laughs. You do it for that. We don't do it for the same thing. So it is what it is. It's no sense to respond. You
did say that you don't come from an era of the type of humor people do, right? It's think about it. Did you hear that about and I want to ask you this honestly and no disrespect.
Yes.
Did somebody say that pertaining or try to disrespect Miss Gia before, or that was the first time you heard somebody try to did somebody play around and say that before? Because when you listen to it, I don't think they meant it in a harsh way. Of course they apologized because you said something like, "Yo, you married, you got children," and I get it. I'm with you on that because she was there when you had nothing. The value. But you also just said COE, content over everything. That's one thing that you said. So did you think that you took it overboard by being angry about that comment? Now I get it. The whole SMD from the back and all that. I'm with you on that. But initially, did you take it over? Did you take it overboard? Did Miss Gia even feel away? Did she feel away? She's like, "Man, it's a show." Did you think you took it overboard, or did you hear it before where somebody, y'all playing with my wife? Y'all think my wife is somebody to play with? Where did that energy for that comment and come from?
It came from, that they heard the interview and that's what they heard, right?
Got it.
But my whole thing is, you're right, content over everything when it comes to me, when it comes to you. I don't bring your wife and your family into it.
You have.
I didn't bring his wife and his 4 kids into it. Yeah. He posts pictures of a kid. I'm saying, I don't do that. I could have clapped back and said something foul, but that's corny. That's corny shit. Grown men don't do that. I don't come at you and say, "Yo, fuck Flip, fuck your kid, fuck your son." No, that's whack. Who does that? Corny people. That's how I look at life. That's how I look at it. Attack me all day long. But I ain't gonna let you attack Gia, Madison, Logan, London, Jackson, Brooklyn, or Peyton. You ain't fucking with my family.
So if he took a shot at you that day on that show, it would have been fine.
You said what?
If he took a shot
People
at you,
attack me all day long.
No, I'm just saying, but him,
Yeah,
like, if he said
people,
something to you, then,
people attack me all day long.
all right.
You know, everybody. Oh, look at Envy. That's fine. That's
How
fine.
did Miss Gia feel about that?
She felt the same way that I felt.
She did. You
Yeah,
obviously said
absolutely.
Miss Gia was offended by that comment.
Yeah,
You sure? Don't,
positive.
Okay. All right. Then
No, see, because this is the thing that you understand. When I see something, sometimes I take things too far, right? So the first thing I do is I call my manager, June. Let him see it. What you think? And he'd be like, or he'd be like, oh, yeah, that was a little foul. Then I call Coke. Coke knows me well. Coke, he's going to call me and be like, bro, you're going to go too far. Stop. All the time. Then I call Gia. Yeah, that shit was disrespectful. And then now I know it's not just me, right? Especially Coke, because Coke is the one that he knows me. He knows I go too far. He knows my mouth is a problem, pause. He knows I don't play. Like, if you stab me or if you punch me, I'm the type I'm going to shoot you. Like, there is no, like, sometimes there is no punch for punch, and he knows that. So he tries to calm me down a lot. Coke knows that. But Coke will also be here in 30 minutes if I need him here. But, you know what I mean? So when it comes to certain things, if I feel away, I ask somebody just because sometimes I'll be like, maybe I'm taking it too far. Like anybody else. You know what I mean? Like even with my daughter or my son, if they have a problem, I want them to ask me first. Maybe they're taking it too far or they're taking it out of character. That's why a lot of times when it comes to people, I don't like to text anybody. Because sometimes texting, you take it the wrong way. I want to talk to you in your face. I can see your body movements. I can see how you are. I can see how you're acting. I can see that you're swaying and you're lying and you're not. A text, people are tough all day on text. But when we're in person, it's kind of difficult.
Did you set them up? Did you do an interview with the intention? Because you knew the interview was coming. Did you have the interview with the intention of approaching them about that scenario since they did it on their show? Was that a setup? Was that the 52 fake out old school Queens move?
You got to think, and when people say that, somebody else said that. I think Joe Budden said that. I knew they were coming on the show. Like, we have a list of artists, guests that are coming on the show. Like Lizzo next Tuesday, next Wednesday, Teddy Riley, next Friday, this person. I knew they were coming. And I knew when they were coming, this is what I was going to do. Absolutely. I knew when they were coming on the show, I was going to approach them.
It was a
Charlamagne didn't know. Ye didn't know. But I knew I was going to approach them.
So you premeditated that, yes?
Yeah, I knew they were coming. They're definitely going to have smoke. Goddamn right.
Nah, he walked in hot though. He started
I
off
walked
like,
in hot. I knew what it was.
You said you called him what? You called him
dickhead and pussy. I knew what it was from the door.
Right away.
From the door, I knew it was. Like with Drama, if you ever look at the episode with me and Drama got into our problems, right? Drama did something that I didn't like. And I wasn't going to say nothing on the show. I was like, I'll wait for after the show and then I'll talk to him face to face. I just had a relationship with Drama. I've known Drama a long time. We came up in this game together. Drama was the one who was like, let me just say it on air. And that's what it went to. But Drama is somebody who I have the deepest respect for. He told me what it was. He told me how he felt. I told him what it was. And we said, all right, bro, I love you. I love you. That's my brother. I gave him a dap hug, and that was it. We've never talked about it ever again. When Drama needs something, he'll call me. When I need something, I'll call him. That's what it is. If I need a car for a car show, whatever. Drama got a new single, whatever. He got an artist, whatever. Whatever Drama needs is done. But we had a conversation. It sucked that it happened on air, but it did. It is what it is. But Drama is a good dude that I really, really genuinely like.
Solid. Shout out to Drama.
I think Drama is great. I think what he's doing for the culture is great. And I think what he does, and I always joke because I think Drama and they always go back and forth who's the best mixtape DJ, Drama or Clue. And he knows Clue is my guy, so I'm always going to say Clue. But those are the two best. Clue and Drama are the two best. Hands down, no questions answered. Like, I love both of those brothers. Drama, know I'm going to ride with Clue, but him and Clue are the best when it comes to it, man. I love, I love Drama.
Did you ever have any other DJ beefs during your career? Or DJ problem?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. God rest the dead. Me and K Slay had beef at one time. That wasn't really my beef. That was for him and Splash, and then it turned into my beef. But we squashed it out, and K Slay became a big supporter. I became a big supporter of his. I remember K Slay, I had to come to his crib. I don't know what I had to get, a freestyle or whatever it was. And he used to live in Harlem. He would drop the key out the window, and you come upstairs. Me and Coke went up there. So K Slay was a good dude, man. And the game is really going to be missing a lot that he's passed away. Me and Cutmaster Cee back in the day had beef.
Cutmaster Cee, shout out to Cee.
We interviewed him.
Yeah, shout out to Cutmaster Cee. A lot of these DJs really helped me on my grind, on my journey. Like, he was one of the ones that, he gave me records at times when I didn't have records. He gave me equipment when I didn't have certain equipment, whether it was the CD duplicating machines and all that. So C was definitely a good dude, and you know Webb managed C at one point, so he was always a good dude. Other beef? Nah, there was really no other beef. Unless you could think of something. You always pull something rabbit out your hat. What else you think?
No, ask me no question. Did my man ask you a question?
That's the only beef I could think of.
You sure?
Nope.
What's your relationship with Flex?
I don't have a relationship with him.
Why not?
We just never did. I just think he's from a era where he's a big dog pit bull or whatever they call themselves.
No. I ain't gonna let you do that.
Ask away.
You know it's big dog pit bull. Don't say whatever. That's what I'm saying.
No, he changed it. I think it's lit DJs now. I wasn't trying to joke him. See, you always think somebody's trying to joke somebody. He's not. I don't think it's the big dog pit bulls anymore. I think it's lit DJs. See, you always think somebody's trying to play somebody, man.
You sure?
Yeah, it is.
See,
I know it's not Funk Master Flex anymore. It's Funk Flex.
Funk Flex. Digital lit
how you gonna ask a question? Don't even know the answer.
No,
I'm trying to tell you the answer. Oh no, I don't think he call it big dog pit bulls anymore. I think he call it lit DJs.
Okay.
He still say Pitbull, but it's more so that now. It's him, Red Alert, Chuck Chill Out.
Yeah,
those guys.
I'm not sure what he calls it.
Yeah, digital lit DJ.
What you mean not sure? You're a DJ.
I'm not sure if it's. I don't know if it's.
Those are legendary DJs.
We're not in the same clubs. I don't. You know, we're not.
Those are legendary DJs.
He is legendary.
Yeah. So where did the problem derive from?
I think it probably really started from him beefing at Clue. That's probably where it started. Him going at Clue crazy, and I just don't like that.
So all the time, so basically you a guy that interferes in other people's beefs.
No,
it's true. It's true.
No.
You jumping. He's going at Clue. What they got to do with envy? That's your man. It's Queens. I'm jumping out the window. What we doing?
Flip, you got brothers?
Don't ask me. Yes, I do. I got
you have a brother, right?
Yeah.
Older or younger?
I'm the oldest. Yeah.
You're the oldest, right? Any other of your brothers are just they're not like a fighter, like they're not aggressive. They don't want war.
That's true. Yes.
Right. So if somebody goes at that brother, and you know that brother's not gonna hurt a fly.
I'm gonna be overprotective. Okay, get to the point.
And that's how I am with Clue. And that's not just with Flexes, with anybody. Clue is the type of person that Clue likes to get his money, take care of his family.
That's a fact.
He don't want to beef. He don't want aggressive. He's not gonna go for Clue to go at somebody. You would have to damn near fucking shoot him.
And he's extremely stubborn.
And if he does go at you, it's not gonna be. It's gonna be damn near rehearsed because he just doesn't do that.
Respect.
And because he's my brother, he doesn't have to. I'll do it for him. And Clue never. Me and Clue's never had a conversation about this.
Clue.
He's never called me and said, "Yo, this person." I hear it and I jump out the window. Now, a lot of times, Clue, make up with the person he jumped out the window with, and I'm stuck on an island. But that's my brother. But I think that's where it started. But look. When it comes to Flex, I would say this.
You gonna apologize to him on air?
I don't apologize for what. Oh. When it comes to Flex, I would say, growing up as a kid in Queens, he is a DJ that every DJ looked up to. Right? Growing up from New York, you wanted to be Flex. You wanted to drop bombs on records. You wanted to talk of records. You got your style from him. So hands down, he's a legend when it comes to it. Legend. And that's it. We just don't see the eye to eye on certain things, and it is what it is.
What's the certain things?
I tell you, like him going at Clue. I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
But him and Clue,
But he believes in heavy competing, right? He's a competitor.
He is.
He's a very competitor. He's a competitor. But I just don't like shitting on DJs. I just don't.
I brought this up earlier, but all right.
What DJ did I shit on? I just don't like shitting on DJs.
Okay.
Like, I like to empower DJs. I like to help DJs because I know we came from a world where nobody gives a fuck about us. During pandemic, the Bartenders Association had something where bartenders could get money. The Waitress Association had money where waitresses. Nobody gave a fuck about the DJ. The club owners got money back. Not one club owner that got money back was like, you know what, let me take care of the DJ because they're not working. Nobody cares. There's no union for DJs. Nobody gives a fuck.
But
there's no health care. Nobody gives a fuck.
He protected Mister Cee just like how you protected Clue.
Yeah. Well, I guess to a point. I don't know. I really don't know.
You don't know. Yeah.
If you did,
were you ever around Flex before?
Yeah.
You was. Hot 97, yes?
Yes, sir.
And when you were around Flex, what was the respect like?
We didn't really speak.
So you didn't have respect for him?
Just head nod, and that's what it is. He just when you in a place with somebody that I would just say Wasn't no connection. Maybe he's an introvert. I don't know.
Okay, did you so that wasn't did that stay in your mind that him not being an introvert, him like what was did he shun you?
Nah, Clue's an introvert. Clue don't really go out and talk. I don't care about who you are. If you treat people well, or I look at you how you treat people around you, or how you treat me. You know what I mean? If you treat people around you good, I think you're a good person. If you don't, it is what it is.
Do you guys feel like so you basically when you say he's a competitor, are you basically blaming him for all the reasons that you guys went at him? Is it his fault? Is it their fault?
What do you mean?
You guys go at them on the morning show?
We don't go at them no more. We haven't gone at them for 10 years, 8 years. We're not their competitor. Think about it. They are on Hot 97 in New York. We're on 122 radio stations. We're not competing with them. We're nowhere near them. What they do and what we do is totally different.
I'm about to get him.
The music that they play and the music that we play is totally different.
Yo.
We're totally two different angles.
Yo, hold me back. First, this is the problem with niggas. I mean, you a nigga that forget where you came from, nigga.
I don't.
You came from Hot 97, nigga.
I did.
They were the first station to let you come up there. Rest in peace to DJ Threat.
Correct.
They let you come up there, nigga.
Yep.
And you up here because you want some fancy ass station with some fancy ass fucking studio with some fancy ass shit talking bullshit.
What that mean?
It's wrong.
What's wrong with it?
Don't spit on the hand that lifted you up initially. Keep that in mind.
See, and that's your problem. I love that you said that. That's your problem. You know what your problem is?
Got a reverse
you know what the problem is?
Oh, we say that.
I get to sit up. Problem is, you always protecting the white man. Who owns that station?
Asians now.
Okay. Why the f is somebody protecting the station and worried about that? Because at the end of the day, when his career is over and anybody's career is over, they do just like they did with Shayla. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a nice day. That's what all these fucking stations did. And what that station did was create a rift in New York City where DJs couldn't work with each other. And that shit is whack. Because at the end of the day, I don't own Clear Channel. I don't own iHeart, and he don't own Emmis, and none of them niggas own Emmis. But they created a rift of a station that they don't own. Shayla, same station that owns Hot 97, been doing afternoons for 27 years. They let her go. Why? She was number one at that time slot. She's radio legend. They let her go. Why? Because they don't give a fuck. When they want to get rid of her and change, they just change. You don't own that station. I don't own the station. I ride for the Breakfast Club and I want to win. But I'm not going to sit there and do something that I don't own. Yeah, I'll die for my wife and my family because that's me. I don't own iHeart. If I do some foul shit or say some foul shit right here on this podcast, sorry, Mr. Casey, your time with us are gone. They don't give a fuck. For the last 13 years, we made the Breakfast Club number one in 122 markets. I don't own it. They don't care. They don't care. So you put your life on the line on the station for what? You know, at a time in New York City, a Hot 97 DJ could not DJ with a Power 105 DJ?
That's the fact.
For what? For what? Just imagine, right? Let's talk business. Right? When it comes to the car shows, right? Outside of the international car show, I'm the biggest. Around the country. 20,000 people in my shows. 25,000 people. Right? Imagine, just saying, imagine me and Flex got together and did a car show. Just imagine. Imagine me and Mr. Magic did a car show together. Me and Greg Street in Atlanta. Or shit, me, Greg Street, and Flex did a car show together. Nigga, we would kill. We'd make millions a year doing it. We'll be bigger than the international car show. We'll take it from city to city to city to city to city. We probably make 10 million a city. Split it. 3, 3, 3. 3 for me, 3 for him, 3 for Greg Street. The other million we put back in the business. But no, we can't do that. The owner of iHeart, he can talk to the owner of Emmis and they can make another play on something else. But they make it like they feel like we can't. What the fuck is that? Why? I don't own a share of iHeart. I don't have 10% of that. Why? So yeah, you want to fight for a company that you don't own? What? It just doesn't make sense to me. Now you look at every rapper, right? Every rapper. Little Baby could do an album with motherfucking Dirt. They on 2 different labels, not a problem. Well, it's all about money. They do what they want to do. But here as a DJ, we act like we can't? What sense does that make? I got a book coming out, and I got to be careful because I can't go to Emma stations because that's whack. If the content is good, the content is good. K Slay, competing station, an album coming out. I played a record. Back then, you couldn't. Oh, you playing a competing? Who cares? He's a DJ. He's winning. I want to play his record. I'm going to play it. Nobody from my side had a problem. If any one of them DJs got a record, good or bad, I'm going to support. I want DJs to win. That's me. You see what I'm saying? Magic, he's on Hot. He does a car show. His car show's a week after mine. If I'm not here, I'll send a car to his car show to support. I don't get no money off of that. He's on the other station. Who cares? I just like the fact that Magic is out there doing his thing. Why can't we do that? What's the problem with that?
So why you can't apply that same thing to have a relationship or build a rapport with Flex?
Me and him just don't see eye to eye when it comes to those things. And I don't think we ever will.
When it comes to business, but you never asked him. It's ego and pride. You never
it's not ego and pride. That's just the game he plays. He doesn't DJ with people that's not on the station. He doesn't do those type of things. I don't care. You've never seen me on the fly say, "Oh, I'm not working with him because he's from Hot." Last night, 2 nights ago, I did DiBiase's party in Jersey City. It was me and Walla. Walla's on that station. I didn't say, "Oh, I ain't doing it because Walla's there." Walla ain't say, "Yo, I ain't doing it." One of the best DJs out there ever, when I do a party and I ask him to DJ, it's Camilo. Camilo. He's on that station. I love Camilo. He calls me, I'm there for him. Camilo's a good dude. One of the best DJs I've ever seen work, especially when it comes to that open format. The best. He knows how to control the crowd. When I'm out of town and he's DJing, I go check him. And he never makes me feel like, oh shit, Envy here from the other side. No. Envy, my Nick, how's everything? How's the family? How's your wife? How your kid? A word? Envy's in the... That's how it should be.
Right.
That's how it should be.
Do you feel like because of a lot of stuff that you went through in the past, meaning younger, meaning high school, meaning different encounters, do you feel like that sort of lingered on in who you are as an adult? Because you come off as a person, solid. You didn't know me from a can of paint, and and I told them, gave me the mortgage guy. I told him, look out for me. You know what I'm saying? But you do come off as a person that when you in position, you're going to let your position be known. And I've heard your rants, not rants, I heard you get at Flex at the time before. Certain things you said is like, come on, he was over there. What we doing here?
It doesn't matter. When you go at me.
But you falling into the same category. That's hypocritical.
It's like I said, when you swing on me, I'm shooting at you.
Have you ever tried to reach out to him and have a private conversation? No, because you wouldn't.
We did.
You did?
Yeah, me and Flex had a private conversation.
And what was the outcome of that?
It was pretty much, you look at things one way, I look at things one way, we both DJs, let's let it go. Sean Perez actually set it up. But that was it. And I've never said anything about Flex other than that. Like, I share my feelings towards him of how I feel. I always give that man his credit and say he's a legendary DJ because I do feel that way. Certain things I don't like, and I'll say that as well, but I don't go at him. You're never going to hear me say, oh, Flex Club is whack. You're never going to hear me say, oh, Flex is old or Flex is... I don't have to. I have respect for him. I have respect for the things that he's done. As a person, I might not like him, but for what he's done for our culture and our community...
Nigga, you wore the lugs, nigga.
I didn't wear lugs, though.
We all wore the lugs, nigga. You forgot nigga had lugs, nigga?
I didn't wear
lugs.
What,
you wore Birdman lugs?
I didn't. I'm from Queens. I never wore lugs. And if you wore them lugs, I'm not. You cannot claim Queens ever again in your life. But I respected that deal. I'm sure he got a big check for that. But it was him able to open that door for DJs to get those sneakers. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean?
Why you looking at my sneakers?
I'm going to make sure you am on.
You looking at
Make sure you am. That's all. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. But
so it's just two different perspectives of views between the two people.
Correct.
And that's how the conversation ended. There was no. It sounded like an ego and pride conversation, but I'll let you.
No, I mean, there's no ego because I don't. where I feel like he doesn't necessarily care about what I do. I don't care about what he does. But it's just like I used to always hate when I felt like he would attack other DJs, like he would attack Self or attack Spin King. I just didn't like it because here in the DJ community, first of all, the first thing they do is especially in New York, they try to ban. At one time, they were banning DJs for DJing clubs. Oh, if you work for the radio, you can't DJ in this club because you bring the wrong crowd, you bring the wrong element, you bring the wrong this and the wrong that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you don't want to hurt. Like I'm competitive. Like if I'm DJing again, if me and G Money's DJing, we cool, but I want to out DJ him, and he should want to out DJ me. Not to the point where you disrespectful, envy, get out of here, but he wants to do his thing, where you be like, damn, you killed it. That's how we all are. No matter what it is, you do a skit. Me and you do a skit. I look at the skit that you did before, and I'm like, oh, we got to outdo those numbers. Not to say that last skit was trash or whack or that other person. I just want to. That's some competitive. Oh, I want to outdo that skit. So what do? I try to plan. Yo, I call you Queens. Yo, I'm gonna post it at 7:30 a.m. Why? Because that's the most listened to time on Breakfast Club. You sleeping. You won't get up to 12. Talking about, yo, you posted it without me. Because nigga, I'm up at 7. But that's how I am.
No, you write me like, yo, wake up. I'm posting. That's what you say. You don't ask or tell me nothing.
And then you wake up 3 hours later. That's why I'm surprised you actually was up today. Because every time I call you in the morning, you never wake up. That's why I hit you with the yo, or we were still on. Because I know how you are. And honestly, I feel like if you was coming from Queens, you wouldn't have made it here in time. So I'm glad you slept.
I don't live in Queens anymore.
Ooh.
I have a network now. But listen, let me talk about that. Last question real quick pertaining to that topic. Do you feel I don't like what people say when they try to play with Flex. This is my opinion. I don't like when people try to play with you. You know, I know Flex, but I'm not as close with Flex. I'm close with you. Mm-hmm. But when a lot of people, not a lot, let me not say that. Let me just keep it real. Let me stop pussyfooting. G Money had a conversation with me and told me that I don't know if it was G Money or something. It was a bunch of DJs at the time going at Flex on Instagram. Was it you that told me that, G?
Yeah.
Don't be confused. I had you confused for a little bit, bro.
Yeah, I was like, what you about to say?
No, you didn't say that crazy. But
I think I remember what it was. That's when he played in the Bronx. He played in Brooklyn. And they was shitting on him in the club or something.
No, hold on. Ain't nobody can shit on Flex, nigga.
No. I mean, I remember. I think I remember what it was.
Flex night. Funk Master Flex night. Gotta get a ticket.
Hard to get a ticket. Hard to get a ticket.
See, look, got you. That was a trap. See?
It's classic. It's classic radio.
Yeah. I know.
There was no trap. You didn't
know.
know.
I caught you, nigga.
No, you didn't.
Red-handed. Cookie jar. Boom. We got E in the building.
You didn't know.
What I'm saying is that.
I think we're talking about Punch, right? I think.
They had a whole thing where they were accusing. They were saying.
It started from the club in Brooklyn. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I didn't know about the club.
Yeah.
I just know me and G was talking about. He's like, yo, Flip. I don't understand. They say that people felt like Flex. It was explained to me. I think Punch said it on our podcast that Flex doesn't lift anybody up. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily believe that. I feel like if because I don't know the logistics of it, so I can't say that. But when I hear if he talks about somebody, I do hear him play. People I have heard Flex break records. I have heard. So does that all go out the window? Does it all go out the window? Because now it's like, are we just gonna let anyone come up because they're a DJ? We're gonna just let them come up and you have to shout me out and all that stuff?
No.
Is that how it happens? Because this is what they accused him of. It was a whole big conversation. It was on live, like mad DJs was talking about it. Now it came to my ears.
Yeah, no, I will say this, right? And Flex created the Big Dog Pitbulls, right?
Facts.
Or the lit DJs, whatever the new what they calls it now. But he's given a lot of DJs a lot of opportunities. You know, whether it was Cypher Sounds,
Don't Get Gas,
Bobby Trends,
Shake the Block,
and a bunch of other DJs that he has under his belt that he helps, he shouts out. People don't know that when it was Hot 97 and Flex wasn't there, the only person that really filled in for him was Cypher Sounds. And then when Cypher Sounds did comedy, it was Bobby Trends. Those are angles and things that you can't buy. You can't buy that. Can't buy that time. So he did help DJs. Now, a lot of DJs feels like he doesn't go out of his way to help DJs, and maybe they have a point. I don't honestly know. But he does. And the thing is, you know, at the end of the day, you ain't got to help nobody. You ain't got to do shit. And he probably feels like nobody helped him. So you got to work it. Now, I will say this. He's also from the era of he's not giving shit away. I'm from that era. I ain't going to give it to you. You got to come take it. Then when you start to take it, then I'll give you your respect. Because that's how I was. Even with, you look at Spin King. I like Spin King. And the reason I like Spin King is because Spin King grinds his ass off.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? He's going to do the clubs. He's going to dress fly. He's the one that's going to hang out with Fifth and A Boogie, and he's going to grind his way. You got to take your hat off for that man. Even DJ Self. You got to take your hat off for him.
Facts.
DJ Booth.
Facts.
I love Booth, but I hate Booth. And when I mean I hate him is I thought Booth was going to be the next kid in New York. I just thought he had it. But he decided to go another way. And that's when he started DJing Wendy Williams show. Problem with DJing Wendy Williams show was great. It was a great check, but I think he kind of lost what he was doing. He's getting back to it now, but I thought Booth was the next dude. And Booth is still my guy. And so many people wanted me to do a DJ click. And I never wanted to do it. The reason I never wanted to do it is because I never wanted somebody to be, let's say I start a click and G Money's in my click.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. My guy's G Money, nigga.
Right?
I'm about to say that.
But now, what happens? Niggas hate on him because he's in my clique. Now, he can't do a party with the heavy hitters. He can't do a party with Big Dog Pitbulls. He can't do a party with, whoever.
No, but that's not really a rule. You're just saying that.
No, it is, but that's how it really is.
G-Word, G-Chill.
That's how it really is.
I did a party with, I told a story before, but I did a party in the city with Mister Cee years ago. This was when he was on Hot. This was, you know what I'm saying? And I opened up for C, you know what I'm saying? I'm having the crowd going crazy, we wilding. So this is my first time probably DJing with someone on the radio, I think at the time. Or maybe just him. And I was hyped to meet him because, he was, to me, he's like one of the top DJs, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion. I'm like, yo, he's dope. Hot 97, I'm on a bill with him. This is fire. So I'm shouting him out crazy. I'm doing all this. You know what I'm saying? I'm damn near backflipping in the booth, like trying to make the crowd go crazy. He walks in the booth, whatever. So there's a Power in the 5-1 stick on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And I got like my last one to go. This we had the records. So it was just like before Serato, I think. We had the crates and all that. So I'm playing my last record. And then he looks at on the wall, Power in the 5-1 stick on the wall. He sat there, my last song playing. He did not play a record until that sticker came off the wall. It's that serious with them. Like, they don't play around with that, bro. Like, I sat there with him for like 10, 15 minutes, watching him pull the sticker off the wall. And the sound guy was like, yo, what's up? He was like, I'm not fucking DJing in here with no power, no 5-1 sticker on the wall. Blacked on the sound man. And went back to trying to pull the sticker off. Like, it's that real with that. Like, so he's not, this is
yeah,
facts,
that's
it's factual.
He was doing some sucker shit. That's whack. But
yo. Oh,
no, Mr. Cee's my guy. But I'm gonna tell you this too. And this is what people will learn. And I learned this from Mister Cee. And I learned this from especially SNS. A lot of times when people DJ, it's theatrics, right? Because as a DJ, you should be able to pull a little bit from every DJ and create your own style with adding your own style, right?
Of course.
So let's say, I'm not saying you did. Let's say, and this happens all the time, you get an overzealous DJ that wants to play everything before you walk on, right? I see SNS do this all the time. Mister Cee too. Stop the music. Stop the music. Just let the whole shit fade out. Right? So now people are looking at you like, wow, what are you doing? Take your time. SNS, plug in. Set his shit up. Drink a sip of water. Set up. Now people are sitting there like, what the And then when S get his record up, and the S start talking, yeah, it's your guy SNS, the number one, da-da-da-da-da. Now the crowd's back hype. They forgot you was even DJing. And that theatrics, now when he plays that record, the whole club goes bananas. Mister Cee does it. SNS does it.
Fire.
Mister Cee probably was like, all right, scratch that shit off. He was like, you know why it took me so long? Because I scratched Power 105 up. Put your middle finger up right now.
Right,
if y'all don't give a like we. Now the crowd is crazy.
Right.
That's some Mister Cee shit, and that's some SNS shit. Those are the two that perfect that.
Right.
And I tell every DJ this: when you go out of town or you got a night off, go to the club. See what the DJ plays, how he plays it, what he plays. Understand that. And I got that from watching SNS. I got that from watching Mister Cee. Like those two are like, when it comes to them parties, they are an animal. But I watch them from doing it.
Right.
Like if it's a party that's 33 and up, You don't want to play behind Mister Cee.
Oh nah.
And you don't want to play behind SNS.
Don't play fair.
Because them niggas will do a 45-minute Jay-Z set that'll leave you in your feelings. You'll be like, what the fuck am I going to play after that?
Nah,
that's who it is. But I also got my style from that. I played behind SNS before. SNS used to come to my college, Hampton, and burn me down. So I had to figure something out. So when he burnt me down with that, I fuck with the chicks. Fuck all that gangster shit. Fuck all that shit that the niggas playing. I'm fucking with my ladies. Ladies, if your body is real, put your hands up. Ladies, if you don't need a nigga but for some dick, hands up. Now when I play my R&B shit, it's just as crazy as his fucking rap shit.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Why you just raise your hand? She was like, I was like, she was like, but you see what I'm saying? But that's the type of shit that you learn as a DJ. But that's how I learned. I learned to cuff the women records.
Right.
And then I could get back into the gangster shit. Same thing.
100%.
And y'all niggas done with me, man. It's been 3 hours, motherfuckers.
No, we can't leave it out about the book, though. The book is here. The book is out now.
Yeah, the book is out right now. It's a national bestseller. I appreciate all of you guys. The book is doing amazing. And the book is just about to just help people in their relationships. Some of the shit that I did to hope that people won't do and to help you with your relationship. And the book is doing amazing. And we've been helping so many people with their relationship. Also, shout out to Positivity Water. I'm a partner and owner in Positivity Water. I'm sure you see it on the Breakfast Club. You can order it in Amazon. It's in Hudson News and some of the airports. So if you do see it, I think it's in Walmart and Target. But order it on Amazon. It's an alkaline water. So definitely get that. Also, I got a strain of weed. I would have brought it here, but I wasn't sure if y'all smoke. But if y'all do, I will get it to y'all, or y'all give it to people. You know what we'll do? When you have some artists here, I'll bring a gift box. You can give them a gift box when they leave. It's a strain of weed. It's coming out in Detroit. It's called Slurred. And I think the first drop is next week. I'm getting into the cannabis industry crazy. So whether it's dispensary or growing or all of that, we're into it, cultivating, we're into it heavy. We have a dispensary opening up hopefully next year in New Jersey. Hopefully I'll come back up here and tell you about that. Of course, the real estate, I have 300 doors right now. My partner has 3,000. Hopefully looking to continue that. The podcast with my wife. Am I forgetting anything? The real estate seminars and my car shows. We do 5 a year. This year we're doing Houston, Atlanta, New York, I think Alabama and Miami, or maybe Detroit. We got to see. So come out to the car show. It's a family fun car show. It's all about family. Although we have celebrity cars, we have amusement rides, carnival games, stuff like that for the kids. Kids 5 and under are free. And that's pretty much it.
What can you do next, man? You got everything. You know, you did everything, man.
I don't want to do nothing next. Once I get this dispensary open, I think I'm done. You know, the Breakfast Club I love. So we'll see, see what we do with that. But, the whole idea is like I told Flip early. I'm just trying to set my kids up. You know what I mean? And when my kids have enough properties to pay for themselves, then I'll be good.
What happened?
I thank y'all for having me, man.
Let's talk about the Breakfast Club real quick before we go.
You said you was done.
I changed my mind.
So you lied. So you're a liar.
I didn't lie to you.
You did.
How much time did y'all talk about breaking up and Charlamagne wanted to leave and you not leave? Like, what's all that about, man? Like, are the the competition radio station at the time was talking about that. That was one of the highlights that Charlamagne wanted to leave the station. I don't know if it's true. We're not in those meetings. But how do you view that? Do you think that how much longer do you think the Breakfast Club has?
I'll be honest. I mean, the Breakfast Club could go as long as we want it to go. And when I say that, and I'm being honest, as far as radio is concerned, I don't see anybody as far as, and don't take this the wrong way, as far as competition for the Breakfast Club. And what I mean by that is when you look at Miss Jones in the morning, there was so many different shows prepping, right? Cypher and Rosenberg did overnights. They were prepping to be morning shows. L'Oreal, they had their show.
L'Oreal.
Shout out to L'Oreal. What's his name? Quicksilver had his show. There was all these shows that were prepping to be the next big morning show. A lot of them, fell off. Quicksilver decided not to do mornings anymore, went back to afternoons or nights or whatever it was. L'Oreal, I know she had a couple of cast changes. So by saying that, I just feel like we can go as long as we want to go. Like, I just don't think when us three are together, I don't think that nobody with us when it comes to it. Now, could the Breakfast Club change? It could always change. But nobody could be fired from the Breakfast Club. That could never happen. Like somebody, like, let's say I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I could leave, but I think the Breakfast Club, I think we got a strong whatever. You know what I mean? I think Charlamagne's still in love with it. I think he's still in love with it. I still love it. So as long as we keep the gang together, I think we good. But one thing I would say is we don't all have to be best friends. And I think a lot of people look at that and want that to be. Meaning, y'all all work with each other. You don't have to like them all the time. You don't have to invite her to your kids' birthday parties. You don't have to take them to vacation with you. Y'all work with each other, and when y'all work with each other, y'all are a great unit. And I think a lot of people expect us to be on top of each other all the time, but we just not. Charlamagne does 1,000,001 things. Ye does 1,000,001 things, and I do 1,000,001 things. We still support each other, but we're not gonna be. I don't think you don't see Ebro and Rosenberg going out. Put like this: outside of radio, I probably hang out with Ebro more than I hang out with anybody. And it's not that we hang out and go get drinks; it's we ride bikes. So when we ride bikes together. You see what I'm saying? But when we ride bikes, we don't sit there and talk about radio. Yo, how's your kid? How's your daughter doing? Oh, mine is fine. How's your family doing? All right, boom. When we talk about, yo, this, that, and the other. You see what I'm saying? So it's different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. You got a guy ride bike too, Jason Griffith. He rode with you before too, right?
Who's that?
Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah. I seen a few videos of him.
Yeah, we all ride. Just try to stay in shape. You know what I mean? And I would encourage, if you work with anybody fat, you should encourage them to get on the bike and start to ride.
Talk. See, that's why you didn't get the he cool, man. See, that's 3 times he supported you, but
don't give it to him. Don't give it to him.
But now, if you work with anybody overweight and you're scared about them, with health, and,
you give it to
and
him,
they got kids, and you want to see, especially if they just went to their kids' graduation and you see them looking so clean, and you just want them to be healthy, you encourage them to eat better and to work out.
G, no, don't give it to him, G. He don't deserve it.
I need a clear path.
He don't deserve it, G. Just me.
It's probably one of the longest interviews.
me, bro.
I wasn't talking about you. You're so sensitive. I didn't say your name.
It wasn't about you like that. It was talking about you.
G, please don't do it.
Are you saying that you're overweight and that you don't eat right and that you should work out more? Is that what you're saying?
That's not you, is it?
No.
All right, but it's not you.
So not you. So he cool, man.
G, not cool.
He cool, man.
No!
That wasn't about you.
We about to end the show without him getting it, G. You want to get it from earlier. That's the problem, man. You biased, bro.
It's the DJ,
You know I'm going to pull a Charlamagne, man. I want to raise here.
You pay yourself? You go to raise your own pay. Go ahead.
Hey, yo, man. We appreciate you coming up here, man. Thank you, man. Round of applause for DJ, man. I like this interview a lot.
Nah, this is dope. This is dope.
Talking about you look up to Envy, man. We got to talk about that behind the scenes, man.
I do. I'm not ashamed of that, man. My guy for a long time, man. I respect a lot of DJs.
That's a fact.
I respect all the DJs, but a few of them is at a higher rank than others. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you one thing, though. When people say that to me, it makes me feel away. And I'm going to tell you why. When I say I look up to a DJ, I feel like at that point, the DJ is not as relevant as they were before. So when somebody says it to me, I don't know how to take it. Because I'm still a fan of DJs. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, when I say, yo, Kid Capri, Jazzy Jeff, or Scratch, I'm a fan of. I don't think they fans of mine. But I'm a fan of them because I seen Friday the 13th, I'm going to play Jason. I seen Kid Capri, Kid Capri, Jazzy Jeff, and the Scratching and Crabbing. Like, I'm fans. So when somebody like G Money said, yo, I look up to you, I'm like, nigga, I still go to your clubs, listen to what you do because I'm still a fan of you. It just makes me feel funny. I don't know why. Because I'm still a fan of the culture.
We about to do a game. I'm bringing my man to the crib. And he's going to play 6 records. And when he plays those 6 records, and he blends them well, however he does it, I guarantee he's going to make you move. Yeah, nigga, yeah. Yeah, we're going to record it. It's my man right there. It's my man. DJ G Money. He shut shit down. We're going to record it. And if you don't move, then we'll talk about that after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. I'm asking. I'm telling you in the asking form.
What you mean make me move? What do you mean? Am I going to do the WAP? Am I going to break dance? Am I going to do woo walk? Am I going to fucking Millie Rock? What?
I don't know, but you know what it is though. You care about DJs. This guy's a talented DJ.
I think he is.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
But he don't know that I try to do a skit where I want to take over the radio, and I said I need G to come up there. See, he don't know these things, and I told you that.
What'd I say?
He said I fuck with G Money. We'll see. We had to talk behind the scenes. You need to show my man some love.
So how was that hating? I
didn't say you hated on him.
What the fuck was that?
You said you fuck with G Money. I said you said you fuck with him. I said he don't know what I attempted to do. I said you fuck with him.
Yeah, I fuck with G Money.
I know you do. Why are you repeating what I'm saying?
Oh man, it's time for me to get up out of here, man. I just want to say I appreciate you guys.
We're gonna end our show. Can I give you guys the flowers? Sure. Okay, I just want to say I appreciate you guys, man. I know I go in on Queen's Flip and we argue back and forth, but I think he's brilliant when he's taking his shirt off, man. I think he's brilliant when it comes to a lot of the skits that he does. He's not scared. He's not afraid to get hurt, and he does it because of the culture. And I appreciate that. G Money, I've known you for a long time. I respect the way that you love your family, and I say keep doing it. Sometimes I just feel like you just 1 second away from being huge, and I just say keep grinding and f the haters. And I always say if you feel like somebody's a mentor to you, you always look out for them. You know what I mean? So if they're living in a 1-bedroom apartment in Atlanta and things is fucked up, you take care of them.
That's what's up. You good, man? Let's get Envy out of there. We've been here for like 6 hours. I don't pull on one time. DJ Envy in the building, man. The book is out. The podcast is out. Breakfast Club is out every morning. Y'all know what it is. Tap in.
Y'all put a shot at me. I don't know what you're talking about.
What? I must have taken a shot at nobody. What are you talking about? What? Nothing's a shot. What's wrong with you?
Give out your social media so we can leave.
It's at DJ Envy.
Sign us out, G.
Yo, we out here, man. Shout out to the whole team. Tati Monday, one time. Basco, you know what it is. Mr. Smooth, JR, you know what I'm saying? We here. At DJ G Money Official on Instagram, at Queens Flip with a Z, at Flip the Script Pod. Follow the TikTok page also, you know what I'm saying? Numbers are going up crazy. Yeah, dope episode. Classic.
Queens Flip, URLTV.tv. Haven't seen it in a long time. You know why I said that? Because my man Smack put the pause on this nigga. Dope episode. Shout out to everybody. Tati Tuesdays, Bassy, DJ G Money, DJ Envy. I like this episode a lot. Thank you. I was here since, real quick before I ended, I was here since last night.
Congratulations.
I'm tired. I was coughing because I was using the saw.
I hope it's
from
that,
yeah.
Because I'm kind of close over here.
Nah, it is from that because you can see the wood pieces. Pause. But remember, lock your doors, close your windows, close your blinds, open your blinds. If you see a nigga like DJ Envy on your lawn, don't be afraid to use the firearm. Why? Because he has it on him. And he'll use it on you first. I'm from Queens. Dumb!